Welcome back to WSJP's presentation of Hawks baseball here at FDR Park. Today, your St. Joe's Prep Hawks will be taking on the Cahillites of Roman Catholic. Eddie Dingle on the mound today, primarily been getting use as a reliever, but he will get his first start of the season today as the Hawks seek to snap a 4-game losing streak. Lost just yesterday to Bishop Eustace out in Jersey. Brutal loss where they actually out-hit Eustace, but lost 7-0. Sullivan, how are we feeling today?
Well, you know, Dom Campanaro normally introduces me as the best analyst in Pennsylvania, but, you know, we're going to save that for a bit later. But nonetheless, I mean, obviously this Hawks team on a bit of a struggle at the current moment in time. There's no doubt about it. 4 straight losses. Obviously a tough loss yesterday to Eustace where they did out-hit Eustace. But, you know, just not really able to figure it out. I thought the pitching was great. Michael Capolato really played well out there on the mound. Nolan Cobb, a bit rusty out there, but decent for the most part. Cole Blanche came in there, pretty decent as well. The Prep, I mean, they've stuck with teams outside of Eustace. They've really stuck with everybody. Obviously, Don, we were on the mic for the game against Newman Goretti where there was a controversial balk ending. So, yeah, I mean, this Hawks team at the current moment in time, they have a team against Roman Catholic here. They're at the bottom of at the standings right now. So if the Hawks, they can really come out, they can get out to an early lead. Hopefully they can get their confidence back up, and we'll see how they continue to make noise for the rest of the season.
Hawks, I mean, really need some sort of bounce-back win here in PCL play up against Roman Catholic. Not to be rude, but not one of the stronger programs in the PCL. Hoping to bounce back against a fellow middle-of-the-table team.
Yeah, I mean, the Prep so far, they've looked good in their wins and honestly not that great in their losses. I mean, you know, as we mentioned, hitting was a concern yesterday, but pitching was great. Hopefully we can just kind of make the two great here today. And honestly, there's no doubt in my mind that they won't do that.
Yeah. Leading off for Roman Catholic will be Jason Good, the junior, in 8 games, hitting .333 from the plate. Triple, second triple, double, knocked in some runs too. Solid leadoff hitter here for the Cahillites. We'll see what Dingle has. First pitch is too low, called a ball.
And you're talking about Jason Good, you're talking about his stats, and honestly, in my opinion, I believe that Jason Good is the best player on this team. And to get a leadoff here against Eddie Dingle, it would be great for this Roman team. You want to come out, you want to get your best player on base to start.
Yeah. Dingle with the 1-0. Low and on the outside, yet another ball.
And as I mentioned, best player on the team, that being Jason Good, so you would really not want to, I don't want to say not pitch to him, but you want to try and give him some things to swing and miss, possibly.
Do not want him on base. Hawks have struggled with base runners. Third pitch is high, 3-0 count. Hitter advantage.
Don, we were talking about this yesterday. You never swing at a 3-0 count.
No, never do. See if Jason Good takes our advice. Dingle with the 3-0. Right down the middle, delivers a strike.
That's one where you had to come back. If you're Eddie Dingle, 3 straight balls to start this game, you really want to just throw one right down the plate knowing that Good is probably not going to swing on that one.
Four pitch walk to begin would have been completely brutal.
Yeah, good way to get back into it.
Popped up by Good here. Jack Keenan settles under it for the first out of the game. Catches it just in foul territory. 1 out now for the Cahillites.
That's what you want to see if you're Eddie Dingle. Obviously, you didn't give Jason Good too many pitches to look at it, and as I repeatedly say, he's probably their best player. So you don't give him too many pitches, and then one he just hits high in the air. You get a bit lucky there, and it's out in foul territory, and a nice grab there by Jack Keenan. Obviously, a lot of sun here today.
Alex Cockerell now at the plate for Roman, hitting .261 on the season. Takes one right down the middle. Eddie Dingle with the strike.
Good start there from Dingle. Want to keep that going here.
Hawks have been solid in the first inning recently. It's just they failed to really ignite on the bats. Gorgeous movement on that pitch from Dingle as Cockerell goes down 0-2 in the count.
Cockerell has a very interesting stance. He's like standing on the batter's box line.
Very interior. Dingle's high and outside. 2-1.
0-2 count there. You can kind of get him to swing on one that, you know, there was one on the outside.
So 1-2.
You know, you're fine if you're Dingle. Don't need to rush anything.
Don't want to give a hittable pitch on that 0-2 count.
Definitely. Definitely not.
Dingle with the 1-2. Foul tip.
Great break on that ball, and unfortunately it was fouled off. One of Dingle's better pitches right there. And, you know, at the end of the day, sometimes those pitchers are just going to get fouled off.
Beautiful angle here at FDR Park. You can really see the movement
Right.
that the Swarthmore man's putting on these pitches.
Love to see it.
Yet again with the 1-2. Dingle right down the middle, a swing and a miss. Cockerill strikes out as the Hawks move to 2 outs with no men on.
You said it, Dom, right down the middle. Typically, you don't see pitchers throw on that 1-2. I think he just tried to get Cockerill off his game there and make him swing on that 1-2 fastball, and I don't think Cockerill was expecting it, so he swung a bit late there.
Dingle right down the middle with a strike right there. Number 2, Lee Sells at bat right now. Low and in the dirt for Dingle. Ball called right there. Sells hitting .238 on the season. Sullivan, did you mistype in the stat sheet, or does he really have a 94.0 ERA?
That was what was on Max Preps. So if it's wrong, then Max Preps
really
that
doesn't like this guy.
Oh. There you go. What are you gonna do?
Dingle inside. Ball called. 2-1 count. 2-1 count.
Dingle here. You can kind of throw some pitches in the dirt. You know, you don't want to give up that 2-out hit.
Exactly. Don't want to give Roman a chance to get some momentum before the close. Fouled out and into the road by Sells.
Yeah, Dom, it is confirmed. He does have a 94.50 ERA. That is the official stat on Max Preps.
I don't even want to know how that's possible. But focusing on the game at hand here. Dingle with the 2-2. Low. Full count here for Sells. Dingle trying to get out of this inning, 3 up, 3 down.
Great take there by Sells. That was a pitch that broke a bit late, and you thought that he would have swung on that one. But that is just an incredible take. Very gutsy there by Sells.
Impressive eye.
Definitely.
Dingle with the full count. Inside, a little high, called a ball. Sells will take his base as Roman gets their first base runner of the game.
Well, a walk is just as good as a hit, and that is definitely the case here for Sells. Great job there by him to take a few pitches that he possibly could have swung on, and at the end of the day probably would have missed, as they were some really nice pitches there by Eddie Dingle. But
Number 27, Pat Buckley comes up to hit. Hitting .250 from the plate. Buckley pops the first one up. Gonna go out and behind us.
You know, I can't see these, and it's making
a little scary.
It's making me a bit concerned that one's going to come this way. I think people will notify us if that is the case. But
I'll be expecting our producer Anthony Correa to jump in front of it.
I believe.
I'm sure he
will
would.
do that.
I'm sure he wants to do that.
Of course he would.
As he glares at me. Pitch is in the dirt. Ball called. It'll be a 1-1 count now for Buckley.
Great stop there by Inacone, obviously. Sells a very, very good base stealer. Pretty fast guy. 2 stolen bases over the course of the season. So great stop there by Inacone to make sure there's no stolen bag there.
Pickoff attempt. No good. Goes right to Jack Keenan and back to Dingle.
Sells did take a pretty big lead there, yeah. So I think that
he was looking for it though.
I think it's better for Dingle to just
focus on the man at the plate.
Yeah, keep him back a little bit. And as you can see, Sells not really taking a big lead now.
Yeah. Yet another pickoff attempt. Sells gets in standing this time.
Sells very frustrated. I think he wants to possibly steal here, but Dingle is just not going to want to let him do that, and he's trying to keep him on first.
Base runner's major problem for the Hawks against Bishop Eustace. Dingle with the 1-1. Strike down the middle. Strike.
Give credit to Eddie Dingle there for the pitch, but let's talk about the placement of Emilio Inacone. Just great placement there. No doubt that it was a strike, but Inacone making sure that...
Immaculate framing.
Yeah. I agree there.
Dingle serves the 1-2. Fouled off to right field by Buckley. Count will stay the same.
It is a good job here. You're making Dingle waste his pitch count a little bit. Maybe he's getting a little frustrated up there. Not necessarily sure, but you kind of waste his pitches a bit, and you can try and get
Tire out that arm.
Yeah, get into the bullpen early if you're Roman Catholic.
Ball is grounded straight to Dingle, and he'll make the easy throw to first to get out Buckley and end the inning for the Hawks.
That's what you want to see there if you are St. Joe's Prep. Obviously a walk that at the end of the day was not really, I guess I wouldn't really say Eddie Dingle's fault. I thought that Sells was about to swing on that one, but unfortunately for the Prep did not. And, you walk there, but you just come back and throw some really nice pitches. Obviously that last pitch had a great break on it. It didn't really look like that Buckley was able to get the barrel of the bat. It looked like he just kind of got in the end of it there and just was not able to do much.
Yeah, very routine inning to begin for the Prep. Exactly what they want to do. 3 outs and 4 batters. Now they get to start off the hitting, which has honestly been more of the issue recently. Just want to see a lot less stranded runners.
Yeah, I mean, the Prep this year, obviously some runners have definitely been a bit of a problem. You saw it there yesterday. Bishop Eustace was able to score on guys that really just walked. They didn't get too many hits. Obviously, Bishop Eustace is a really, really good team. But
one of the best programs in Jersey.
Definitely. But they were just able to get a lot of walks, and they had great base running. You cannot deny that at all. And, we were talking about yesterday, Dom, how the backstop was not very generous to base runners. And
this one's a lot more generous.
Definitely base. But Bishop Eustace, they were really able to make it work.
Probably 2.5 times the size.
I would definitely say so. But for the Prep now coming up hitting, I mean, listen, the batting average against Bishop Eustace, it was 222. That's not what you want to see for a team that really played well when it came to pitching. But today, you can come back out here a day later. You know what you did wrong. Obviously, St. Joe's Prep, they watch the film and stuff like that, and they try to just get some things done here today, try to get on early. And as I mentioned before the game started, just keep that momentum.
The southpaw, Dylan Carter, senior for Roman Catholic, he'll be getting the start today. 3.67 ERA, 1 loss in 5 appearances. Behind the plate for the Cahillites, Liam Kelly.
The Prep, they've not seen many lefties this year, so this is going to be interesting to see how they come out against Carter here. Obviously, 3.67 ERA in 5 appearances, definitely not bad at all for the senior. But, the Prep, they're going to have to come out here. They're going to have to deal with a lefty. We were talking to Coach Stinsman before the game, and, he was talking about the lefty and stuff like that. Didn't really talk about anything that was going to be a problem. Just was bringing that up.
Matter of fact.
Yeah. And it looks like the Prep, I think they're kind of sticking to the normal batting order that they have. It looks like Robbie Grasso is in front of Veza, so maybe he could possibly be batting second. I don't know. We have seen
we'll see it when we get there.
Grasso bat third, but just some speculation here. We were talking about.
It's not what we're here for, Sullivan.
We were talking about investigative journalism yesterday.
Do not bring that conversation back up.
What was wrong with it? I thought it was a good conversation we had. I thought it was a good conversation.
Just waiting to see our Hawks hit.
Well, I mean, definitely. We'll see if we can get some runs here. I'm anticipating it myself. Weineco going to lead off. We've seen him lead off for the majority part of the season. And he's been one of the best hitters so far, in my opinion. I think that in the past couple of games, hasn't been too great, but to begin the season, he was, in my opinion, the best hitter on the team, and I think that he's really good. I think he can really bring that magic back up here today.
Yeah, I mean, he's earned the leadoff role for a reason.
Definitely. And it looks like they're about to do a throwdown. Yeah. Well, good arm. I don't know if we're going to see many steals today here from the Prep. From Liam Kelly behind the plate.
Coming up to the plate for the Hawks will be, as you stated, Emilio Iannacone, hitting .222 on the year with 2 RBIs.
Let's see if he can get it done here, as I mentioned. Really great hitter. And my speculation was wrong. It looks like Pat Veza will be batting second here today. This is why you don't put out fake news.
First pitch by Carter. Fouled out to right field by Anacone.
Good
1
start.
count.
Good start there by Anacone. Good cut. You like to see it there. If he just swings a bit earlier, then you could possibly see a base knock.
Ball got some height on it. That's what you want to say.
Yep.
0-1 now. Right down the middle, called strike.
It's definitely one Anacone would have loved to have back there. You kind of, see the smile on his face. He definitely would like to have that one back, and no doubt that he might swing on this one.
Hawks lead off now, deep in the hole. The 0-2 from Carter. Low, and it called a ball.
Kind of we were talking about with Eddie Dingle, on these 0-2 pitches, there's really no need to throw one right down the plate as...
You don't want to reward them.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to reward somebody for what you were able to do, and that's what Carter was not doing.
Carter delivers. Anacone ground to shortstop. Shortstop cannot get it. Base hit as the Hawks begin the first inning with momentum.
Well, that's what you want to see there from Anacone, and that's why he is batting leadoff for this team. Is he was able to get on base there, and great hit right through second base, and just a great play. Great hit.
Up second for the Hawks, the junior, Patrick Veza. Veza hitting .259 on the season. 2 RBIs, 2 stolen bases.
Veza this year is batting second for the most part, and he actually got the first hit for St. Joe's Prep yesterday, so hopefully he can carry that momentum over into this game.
Common denominator among baseball players' favorite class, AP Comp Sci.
Ooh, okay.
I believe there's 6 players with that as their favorite class.
Wow.
First one's low and inside, called ball.
I don't think I'd be allowed to take that as a sophomore. Am I allowed to take that?
No, you can't take that until you're a junior, man.
Oh, well, maybe I'll have to try it out. Or maybe my senior
It's a great
years.
class.
All right, well, maybe I'll have to try it out someday if I get the opportunity.
Frame job, no good. 2-0 count for Veza.
And we were talking about yesterday how I played catcher a bit, and as a former catcher, I can definitely appreciate the framing there, but the umpire just not falling for it.
Yeah. Nice one by Liam Kelly, but doesn't get it to go. Carter serves the 2-0. Fouled off to the left by Veza.
I also don't think we brought up how George Van Dien is now. George Van Dien is, I'll go in a second actually, but the point I was bringing up, George Van Dien is the pinch runner, and he has 10 stolen bases on the year, so definitely a speedy man on second.
Van Dien primarily gets used as a pinch runner in this game.
Well, what happened there? Was it a interference from the catcher, Kelly? I'm going to assume.
I can only assume. Definitely wasn't a balk.
Yeah. We've seen many of those.
Yeah. Catchers, don't tell me about it. Catcher's interference will have Van Dien on second, Veza on first. Carter wide and outside into the other batter's box. Up right now for the Hawks is obviously the senior Lehigh commit, Robbie Grasso, hitting .296 on the season.
Grasso.
Van Dien taking a large lead. He's going to go and steal third. Van Dien gets down in time, and Veza will steal second as well. Both runners in scoring position for the Hawks as their main man is at the plate.
11 stolen bases this year for George Van Dien, leading the team. You can't get any better than that, and the speed from him is just absolutely impeccable.
Grasso, though, in the hole. Actually, what? Strike called.
That went a bit on the outside, but a lot of umpires I've seen over the course of the season have been calling a lot of strikes to Grasso on that outside corner. Just something he's going to have to get used to.
A lot of noise coming from the prep dugout trying to cheer on Grasso. Grasso will swing. Grounder up the third base line. Van Dien will score. Veza's rounding third. Veza will make it without much interference, and Grasso will settle in the second. A two-run double for Robbie Grasso.
Well, that is what you wanted to see if you are St. Joe's Prep. As I have mentioned before, hitting has not been the Prep strong suit. You saw it yesterday, a 222 average against Bishop Eustis, but you get the hit from Emilio Inacone. Pat Veza gets on base by, I guess, what we assume is interference, and then Robbie Grasso just right up the third base line in a count that was not in his favor, stayed composed in the batter's box, and we'll see what his brother can do.
Up now, as you stated, his brother Chris Grasso hitting .375 on the season.
Chris with a hit yesterday as well.
See what the cleanup man can do. First one in the opposite batter's box. Ball.
Good thing there for Grasso, because I don't think he was ready for the pitch. He called time from the umpire. Umpire didn't give it to him, so it's a good thing that that one was on the outside, because
Carter had started the wind-up already.
Right, couldn't have been too good if he would have seen that down the plate.
One-zero from Carter. Inside curves in for the strike.
A little bit on the inside there. Grasso kind of stepped out of the batter's box, but that's not, or moved out of the batter's box, I should say. But that's something that umpires, they don't really like to see. They don't like to see hitters move in the batter's box. So if you do that, they're going to call a strike every time.
1-1. Straight down the middle. Grasso flies it up into center field. Pursuing, appears to be lost, and it is dropped by Sells. Error in the outfield as Robbie Grasso rounds home and scores. Chris Grasso takes second off a dropped pop fly into center by Sells. He'll be at second, and Robbie Grasso will score to put the Hawks up 3-0 in the bottom of the first.
Well, that is just something there.
What did the Sells lost it in the sky?
Yeah, the sun was in his eye, and that just something you don't want to see if you're Roman. We obviously saw Jack Keenan a bit earlier. He wasn't really able to see it in the sun, but he was able to come down with it. That's just very, very unfortunate if you're Sells.
Chris Grasso now at second, taking a solidly larger lead there. Carter delivers, and it is hit into the right center gap, and it will drop easily for Will Ward. Will Ward rounds.
It's a home run.
Home run.
It's a home run,
Home
Dom.
run,
I was waiting
Hawks.
for you to say it.
Yeah.
Home run for William Ward.
I thought I just couldn't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't really see it
Yeah.
either myself. Wow,
Yeah.
what a start.
Will Ward, 2-run homer into right center, clears it here at FDR. Hawks up 5-0 in the bottom of the second, rolling the Roman Catholic Cahillites in a much-needed PCL comeback win.
Still the first inning, but what a start for St. Joe's Prep. I mean, you know, you get the base hits and all, the double from Robbie Grasso. That, you love to see it there, but William Ward just really the icing on the cake with the home run, and you just, nothing really better there.
John Sittler up now, 6 in the batting order, hitting .304 from the plate. Obviously had the massive home run against Cardinal O'Hara earlier in PCL play. Carter delivers. Outside, called ball.
Good take there from Sittler, obviously with all the hype from St. Joe's Prep at the current moment in time. You know, obviously
Don't want to start chopping.
he's going to want to swing. So just great composure there.
1-0. Sittler moves out of the way. Inside ball.
Bit inside. I thought I was going to hit him actually there, but luckily for
Sittler's
Sittler.
also very interior on that stance. I mean, he's on the batter's box.
Yeah, and
But 2-0 for Sittler here. See what Carter has in store. Carter delivers right down the middle. Strike called.
good break on that ball right there. And as you mentioned earlier, Dom, you know, you can really see the way the ball breaks here from our angle. And there's a great break on that ball. I don't blame Sittler for not swinging there.
2-1. Sittler grounds it to the shortstop. We'll see if he can beat the throw. Out by just about 2 steps, and the Hawks will finally take it out this inning.
Well, you saw a bit earlier. I believe it's good over there at shortstop, and he wasn't able to get the the first one that Iannacone hit, but great job from him to really come down with it and just not, lose any confidence over that one, and was able to throw Sittler out on that great running throw.
Routine fielding right there by Jason Good, the leadoff man for Roman. Makes it look easy, and Sittler can't beat the throw. Jack Keenan swings first pitch. Foul tip.
Well, you've seen Jack Keenan over the course of the year consistently been at at first, and you've seen him, at the batter's box, currently hitting 179, and, you're just hoping that he can, get back into a routine here. I mean, 5 hits on the year. Not many guys on the prep that do have 5 hits on the year, but he's had so many at-bats that his batting average just doesn't seem to be as high as we would like it to be.
Yeah, very wild pitch right there by Carter. Soars it into the backstop. Catcher does not make an attempt.
Yeah, that was just a bit of a wild throw there, but it's all right. I mean, nobody on base, so nothing really to get in over your head about.
1-1 count to Keenan. Outside. Called ball despite the frame.
A good framing there. So once again, I can appreciate it. But, honestly, the umpire's done a pretty good job today in, making sure that it's called both ways, and, even the placement.
2-1 is thrown behind Keenan. Carter starting to lose his control on these pitches. Too wild in an at-bat.
Very lucky there if you were Jack Keenan. That one looked like it was coming straight for his back. And, if you've ever played baseball and you ever gotten hit by a baseball, no matter on what level, it hurts. And especially from that pitch from Carter, that one looked like it was zooming.
3-1. Carter down the middle. Popped up by Keenan. Going to be a can of corn the first base. And he will go down to make it 2 outs for the Hawks.
The sun obviously has been an issue. It doesn't really seem like it's a problem over there at first base. Obviously, you saw Keenan get that one earlier over at first. And now the first baseman, Malloy, did a great job there blocking the sun out and making a play. So hopefully for both teams, all the balls come over and to that side.
Yeah. Hawks second baseman Tommy Murta now up, hitting in the 8 slot, 231 average on the year. See if he can make something happen and follow up the Hawks' earlier scoring run. Delivery from Carter. Popped out by Murtha into right field. And the routine play is not made. Murtha rounds to second and will take it on yet another error by this Caholites fielding.
I mean, once again, I think it's just the sun. Once again, that is a routine play. We've said it a couple times. I can see the sun, and it looks like it's kind of glaring in that right field. We'll have to maybe see after the inning. We'll see if we can get some information on that. But I think it's maybe the thing behind us is blocking out first base. I don't know, but it just seems like everything except for first base is completely
we're blocked by
shaded.
The press box that we were not allowed into.
Right.
Although I do love this press box for shading us. Up right now in the 9-hole, Chris Steinmetz, the center fielder. Pitch is wild to Steinmetz, and Murta will just jog in the third base.
Well, we talked about earlier, Dom, how these pitches, how they were getting a bit wild, but it really wasn't much of a concern because there was nobody on base. But this go around, obviously there was a bit of a concern because of
Steinmetz mentioned it every time. Have to mention though,
right.
200 batting average and a dual sport athlete.
Right.
Steinmetz will swing, and it'll pop out. Same exact hit as Murta out to right field. This time the play is made, and the Caholites finally retire the side after giving up 5 in just the first inning.
Well, luckily, if you are Roman there, you made the play for the third out when it counted, so it doesn't really hurt you there. But obviously, the damage is done for St. Joe's Prep as they were able to score 5 in this first inning.
No, we're just going to keep talking, Sullivan. We don't need to take a break. We got things to say about this.
I definitely have a lot to say. I mean,
break it down, man. You're a color guy.
I know. Anyway, it was a great inning for St. Joe's Prep. Obviously, there were some errors from Roman, but, I don't think that is something that's the only thing you can really take away from this first inning for St. Joe's Prep. I mean, obviously, you had the home run from Ward, and those are just self-inflicting good things of good that you have seen from St. Joe's Prep in that first inning. Obviously, there was the drop balls, and there was, them throws behind the plate and stuff like that. But, if you're St. Joe's Prep there, I mean, you are feeling confident. A team that only batted .222 against Bishop Eustis now in that first inning, all the way through 9 hitters, a .625 average through that first time through the lineup with 5 hits. I mean, you cannot get any better if you are St. Joe's Prep, and you've got to give them credit where credit is due.
Yeah. Hawks hoping to repeat what was a beautiful first inning for them on the defensive side. 3 outs in 4 batters, only 1 base runner allowed on a walk. Hope to repeat that against the middle of Roman's order.
Not saying that Eddie Dingle will not have a good inning, because obviously the first inning that gave us no reason to think that he won't, but you have to hope that Dingle kept his arm warm during that first inning. And
was in that dugout for a while.
Yeah,
the Hawks were hitting.
I was just about to say, he was in that dugout for a long time, and that can obviously be a bit of a problem for some pitchers.
Yeah, in the 5 slot right here, Liam Kelly, the senior catcher for the Cahillites, hitting 250 from the plate. First pitch from Dingle here drops in for a strike.
And once again, that break on that ball has just been absolutely incredible from Eddie Dingle. You've seen it in the times that he's been relieving, but as a starter, all the viewers can really see how well he has thrown these pitches, and the break on that ball just absolutely impeccable.
Kelly needs some momentum here. Takes another pitch for a strike.
Once again, the placement there by Iannacone, just, I mean, you really can't get any better right there. Obviously, it was a strike, but you just want to make sure, as Dom mentioned earlier, impeccable framing.
0-2 count here, Dingle's advantage. He delivers, and it's in yet again for a strike. Kelly said to go around on the check swing, and yet another strikeout for Eddie Dingle.
Home plate umpire didn't really say anything when it came to the strike, and then
I thought it landed as a strike regardless.
That's what I thought, but then Iannacone obviously went to first, and the first base umpire gave him the strikeout. I kind of jerked my head over a little bit. I was like, I don't know, but the Prep obviously get it to go their way now.
First pitch swung on and missed by Dan Malloy, the first baseman, hitting .238 on the season.
Well, Malloy, I mean, he went for the power swing right there.
Yeah. First baseman, that's what they tend to do. Dingle drops it in. Pitch is grounded up to him and kicked off his foot. It is going to be an infield single for Malloy. Murtha cannot get to it in time out at second.
That's a bit rough there if you're Eddie Dingle. It obviously rolled up the mound. I don't think Dingle was expecting it. Once again, it could have possibly
off the foot, then off the glove.
It possibly could have been the sun getting in his way. You don't really know.
Yeah. And then into the awkward gap in between second and first.
Just nothing went right there.
Real cavalcade of errors leads to Malloy reaching first.
Yeah, nothing went right there for the Prep, but it's all right.
Base runner now on, 1 out in favor of the Hawks. Strike called there against number 13. Ryan, there's not a number 13 on our roster for Roman.
Apologize.
That's unfortunate.
I believe I had everything right.
Dingle drops it in, called low. 1-1 count here. Malloy not taking much of a lead off first. Doesn't appear to be interested in stealing. Keatum will still hold him on. Pitch is high, ball called.
Well, unfortunately for us, there is no number 13 provided.
Unfortunate.
So, I don't really know.
Dingle trying to get out of this situation. 2-1 pitch is swung on and missed. 2-2 count now. Hawks ought to get out of this. Inning quickly. Get those bats up while they're still hot. Dingle delivers it in the dirt. Full count now.
If you're Eddie Dingle, I think you just wanted to get a swing and miss there. But
yeah,
obviously was not able to do
Iannacone does a good job of stopping the ball, so Malloy can't capitalize. See what the sophomore man has with the full count. Time called. Full count delivered. In, swing and a miss.
You love to see it there if you're Eddie Dingle. Obviously, the swing there, you wanted to try and just get on base and try to advance Malloy even further, but just once again, another great break on that ball at the end of the pitch and able to get that strikeout.
Number 22, Julian Daniels up right now. 0.62 batting average, hitting deep in the bottom of the order. Swing and a miss right there as Dingle starts off with yet another strike.
A theme in this inning so far has been the break on that ball right there, and it just happens once again. Eddie Dingle very confident.
Dingle serves high this time, 1-1.
It's hard if you're Dingle. Obviously, you don't want to throw the same pitch every single time, which was that slider.
1-1 here. Dingle drops it in. Daniels tries to check swing, but goes around. Doesn't even need a check from the umpire.
Yeah, you can see the regret on his face as he kind of got halfway there, and he was like, didn't really want to swing at that there, but unfortunately he went around for him.
Yeah, it doesn't hold on for the follow through. Dingle with the 1-2. Drops it in, and Daniels swing and a miss. Bat goes flying into the Roman dugout. Suppose it was going there anyway.
Well, I mean, you could see how great that pitch was from Dingle as it got Daniels to throw his bat, and the Roman guys had to back up because of how close it was. I mean, the break on that slider, Dom, I don't think it could get any better. Eddie Dingle very confident in that pitch, and Roman just cannot seem to figure out how to hit against it. I think the coaches for Roman, they got to get all their hitters together and try to
Seemed
tell
like
them.
it was coming in. I mean,
Yeah,
at the head of Daniels, and it drops right down into a.
I mean, you just got to tell them that, you know, you got to. I'm sure the coaches see it.
Got to wait on it.
The coaches, I'm sure, you know, they're seeing, and they could probably find out a way to hit it or a way to hit against it. And if you're the coaches for Roman, you just got to get your guys together, and you got to say, hey, this is what's going on. This is where it is. This is the placement and all that. And then at the end of the day, you just got to figure out a way to hit that slider.
The South Park Carter returns back for his second inning at the mound, hoping that the bottom of the second goes a lot better than the bottom of the first, as the Hawks obviously knocked in 5 against him.
Well, I mean, yeah, let's talk about it. The Prep, obviously, an incredible first inning hitting-wise, as you know, they were very, I would say, conservative of whether they wanted to swing or not on their pitches, and obviously we saw the pitches that they did swing on. They were very, very effective. It scored them 5 runs and 5 hits. I mean, it was just a great first inning from the Prep, top of the lineup. Now you starting off with you know, where you had your success last inning, and if you're the Prep, you just got to keep doing what you were doing. Is really nothing went wrong in that first inning.
Could not agree more. Sully, great color guy.
Oh, I appreciate that. Normally,
always on play-by-play.
Normally it's you in my job, but you know we're switching the roles here today.
Yeah.
Well, I will be back tomorrow for lacrosse, big game against LaSalle.
Yeah.
And then obviously on Thursday we will we'll have it against Archbishop Wood here at FDR Park.
Yeah. Has to shout out though to individuals I know in the Roman baseball program, Peter Buonadonna and Francis Graff, both heavily involved with Roman, played with them in both CYO with St. Francis Xavier and in the Fairmount Sports Association. Great guys, grew up knowing them.
Well, you know, the last time you shouted out somebody on the broadcast, you got a nice Instagram comment.
Very funny, very funny.
Well, I'm not trying to joke. I'm just saying.
Peanut gallery over here.
You're very well liked in the Pennsylvania State sports community.
I'm sure I am.
I know.
Peter Buonadonna, though, unfortunately, starting catcher for JV right now in Roxborough. Not here.
All right. Well,
now?
We'll see. We'll see what happens down the road.
Top of the order back up. Iannacone against Carter just as the first inning started.
He got the base hit. Obviously, he was down in the count a bit and was able to stay composed in the batter's box last go around and just hit a nice base knock up second base.
Out wide in the opposite batter's box for Carter. I feel like I've been saying that a bit too much for his own good.
Well, I think if you're Carter, you just got to take a deep breath there on the mound. You saw guys like Capolato do it. Kieran Lodwick has done it a couple of times. Yeah. You just got to take a deep breath there on the mound.
Ball moves well. Unfortunately, it moves to outside. Called ball yet again. 2-0 here for Iannacone.
Stay composed. Have a good eye if you're Iannacone. Don't want to get too greedy. Yeah.
Iannacone. Swing and a miss down on a pitch down the middle.
Well, that's exactly what I was saying there. I guess Carter heard me and wanted Iannacone to get a bit greedy there.
Yeah,
He made
I'm
him.
sure he was listening to Ryan Sullivan.
I'm sure he was. He was but Iannacone, unfortunately for him, swung a bit high.
2-1 served up. Hit by Iannacone to the shortstop Bell. No good right there on the fielding. Iannacone will get yet another base hit as the shortstop. Jason Good cannot bring it in.
Well, Iannacone, I mean, just hit right back to the same spot that he hit it to last time.
Worked well last time.
Yeah, it worked well last time. Might as well go to the well again. And if you are Iannacone, I mean, you might as well just keep hitting it there. If you are Roman next go around, you might as well just shift over to make sure he does not, get out, get that ball up second base. But obviously, once again, George Van Deen, pinch runner, now 11 stolen bases on the year. I mean, can't have a better start if you're St. Joe's Prep, just like the first inning.
Hawks start the bottom of the second, just like the bottom of the first. Pickoff attempt on Van Deen. He gets in standing.
Yeah, if I was Roman, I would definitely try to tell Van Deen without telling Van Deen that we are not going to let you steal.
Yeah, well, that would require them to catch their fielding balls.
Well, we'll see if they can do so.
Veza back up here. Van Deen will go on the steal, and he will easily beat the throw. Throw will go into center field, and Van Deen will make it to third.
Well,
what did I tell you, man?
Well, I guess if you were Van Deen, I guess you really didn't care what Roman was trying to say to you there. Van Deen, 2 stolen bases there. That's 13 on the year. I mean, the Prep, they saw that Roman was trying to pick them off, and they said, all right, we'll give you this. And Van Deen, obviously, we know the speed that he has, and he just took it up the first base line, and then obviously was able to get the third as well.
Throws low and bounces to the right of the plate. Just not a good situation for Good there.
Yeah, not at all. And now, last time Veza came up, he was got on first base with an interference. So hopefully for him, he can maybe do that. That can happen again.
Let's see what his bat can do.
Yeah.
Outside there for Veza. We'll take it.
I can see Van Deen on third. He is ready to steal home. He wants to go so bad. But if you are Roman, I would not suggest calling. If I was Kelly behind the mound or behind the plate, I would definitely suggest not calling too many pitches that require, I think on the outside.
Yeah. Ball goes over the head of Veza. Kelly races back, and not even close. Van Deen walks down Broadway to extend the Hawks' lead to 6.
Well, I was just talking about it, Dom. I think they really are listening to me. I said try not to call anything there on the outside if you're Kelly. But
I don't know what pitch he calls that would require it to go over Pat
well,
Veza's
I
head.
think that was just on Carter there, but that's unfortunate. Obviously, we saw in the first inning a drop in right field, but then there was one made there at the end of the inning that didn't really cost Roman. Obviously, this time behind the plate, the wild pitches this time cost them go around them.
Carter will plunk Robbie Grasso right in the back. Some noise comes from the Prep dugout as Grasso will take his base.
Well, now
have to wonder if Roman's gonna speak to Carter. I say,
yeah,
as
I could
there's
see
a mound
them,
visit.
I do see them warming up somebody. I can't see the number as we speak. I do believe it is Brandon Saccone.
Yeah. I mean, quite a few wild pitches thus far, hit by pitch.
It looks like the junior is warming up, but
the clown music is yet again being played from the Prep dugout.
Actually, yeah, now I hear it. Oh wow, that's I don't know if that's the ultimate disrespect.
Yeah, lightens the mood,
I guess you could say that, but Roman, a mound visit I think was definitely required here. It was not needed; it was just required. As obviously there's been a bit of concern as with the wild pitches over the last few batters, and I think you just need to take a deep breath if you're Roman, get some communication, and now we'll see if Robbie Grasso can maybe make a mound change or a pitching change, I guess I should say, for Roman.
I mean, I feel like it's quite obvious why Roman would desire a pitching change. I mean, quite a few wild pitches, hit by pitch, and even when the pitches have been getting in the hittable range, they've been getting whacked into the outfield.
Yeah, 6 hits so far for St. Joe's Prep. I mean, can't get much better than that. And 9 total batters. Obviously, Veza that bat will not count because it last to go around because of the fact of the interference.
Grasso, the sophomore, now up. He'll take a pitch low. Brother Robbie occupying first as Carter tries to find anything that'll start working.
No reason to, swing at anything that you really don't like if you're St. Joe's Prep. Hell, even if there's
They're-
one down the plate, I mean, you don't
Yeah.
got to swing at it if you don't like it right
Hawks
now.
are comfortably in the driver's seat of this game.
Right.
Chris will swing and foul it off just out of the right field line.
Well, Robbie, I mean, just swinging at what he liked there. Swung a bit late, but it's all right. I mean, you come back up, you saw the strike, and now you can possibly act on it.
1-1 count here. Carter with the pitch. That one will be shelled by Chris Grasso out into the left center gap. Catch is made by Sells, makes it on the run. Chris Grasso will be out, and Robbie will shuffle his way back to first. Impressive fielding by the center fielder.
Well, I'm sure you heard how loud that was. That ball hit was over into center and Sells. I thought originally it went over his head, but he made a great job just outstretching his arms. And if you're Robbie, I don't think it disappoints you that much. Obviously, because the Prep are doing really, really well. Obviously, Robbie in his last go around had a 2-run RBI double, but now, I mean that's going to sting for at least the next few minutes.
Grasso back on first, taking a reasonable lead. Out on by Malloy.
Great stop there by Kelly to make sure that there is no steal. We've obviously seen a lot of steals so far. 6 stolen bases total for St. Joe's Prep.
At bat is Chris Grasso. I have been mixing up Robbie Grasso and Patrick Vezza. Pat Vezza is the man on second. Robbie Grasso is the man who lined out to left center.
A steal from Veza.
Chris Grasso will take the pitch. Called for a strike. A little bit inside, but over the plate nonetheless.
Well, I've mentioned before that umpires, they don't really like it when batters move in the batter's box. Chris moved his legs a bit back there, so obviously the umpire's not going to like it.
Vezza with a solid lead off second. Grasso, the younger here, swings and misses, and that will retire him.
Well, he looked pretty frustrated there on that swing and miss, and obviously, he threw his bat there. Well, not really threw it, but kind of just placed it down a bit hard there. He didn't
wasn't
like
as gentle as he could have been.
Yeah, that's the wording that you could use, but obviously, that was a bit high there, and
yeah.
I've said it before, and I will say it again. If you're the Prep, you don't want to get too greedy there, but it looked like Chris just did a bit.
Yeah. Will Ward back up for the Hawks. Calls for time. It's granted. Obviously, the man who hit the 2-run rocket out to right center earlier really helped open the floodgates of Hawks scoring.
Yeah, I mean, you really would like to see that again, as obviously Ward
has a man on base yet again in Vezza.
I think the last time his runner was on second as well, if I'm not mistaken, so possibly see some deja vu here.
Yeah. Ward will take it, drops inside right there.
It looks like Kelly behind the plate is anticipating a Veza's steal. You're seeing him, he's kind of maneuvering.
I mean, Vezza is taking a far lead.
That is true, but
he's beyond the shortstop.
I just would like to put that out for the audience. I think that's some
good color analysis.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. This is your job.
Pitch is inside and nonetheless hit by Will Ward. It's going to be hit out to right field and caught. Hawks side is retired as Roman manages to escape the inning, only allowing 1 run.
We say only allowing one run, like that's such a bad thing for St. Joe's Prep, but
Oh, they scored.
But well, I mean, yeah, you see the anticipation from the Prep, and based off the first inning, I think that your expectations would be obviously to the moon of what you would think that Roman would accomplish when it comes to giving up runners, which is what I think some people would think not much, and you would think that the Prep would really just put on a lot of runners. I mean, there's not really another way to put it. So, one run score for the Prep. I mean, obviously, I don't think that at the end of the day you're going to match the level of greatness you put on in that first inning, as they just did an absolutely incredible job scoring runs. You see the team huddle out there for Roman as they are trying to get their guys hyped up. And if I'm being honest there, Schalk, I'm more interested in seeing a player-led huddle. When back in the freshman football days, Coach Henderzak would always tell us guys that a player-led team will beat a coach-led team every single time, and I think that that's something you have to think about if you are the coaching staff at Roman. You want to get some of the players to step up and act as leaders. I'm sure Roman, they definitely have a lot of leaders, as they definitely have a lot of seniors on the team, but you want to get at least one guy there to maybe lead that huddle.
Yeah, but I feel if you need these player-led huddles and, mound meetings by the time you're at only the top of the third, it's just a bleak sign for Roman in this game. Hawks have everything going in their favor right now.
I also see a visit from the coaches on the right next to the home plate.
The good old skippers.
Yeah, that's hopefully everything's all right there, but I would think everything's all right.
The freshman up now, Jack Brown, hitting .312 at the plate.
I mean, that's obviously a good start. Roman, you always think about the future if you're the coaches, and if you get somebody, get a freshman up there that is hitting the ball well. You want to keep him going.
Yeah. Dingle delivers one inside for a strike.
I mean, right back to that pitch. If you're Eddie Dingle, how can you even analyze that? I've said so much about it that to the point that I don't know if I could say much more. He has just used that pitch so much, and right there again.
Pitch is hit right to Keenan. Routine infield liner, and Brown will be retired for the first out of the inning.
I mean, that slider is just something else, Dom. I mean, what more can I say? It has just been so effective in this one, and Eddie Dingle is just absolutely dealing out there with it.
Back up is the leadoff man, Jason Good, hitting .333 from the plate this year. Good will take one right down the middle, caught looking by Dingle.
It's really just that fastball or the slider that you're seeing from Eddie Dingle, and he's kind of mixing it up a bit, but if you're Roman, it's so effective, you don't even know what to anticipate.
Dingle drops it in again. He continues to throw gas. Good, down 0-2 in the count.
I don't think anything can stop Eddie Dingle at the current moment in time. If you're Roman, you're just even like a ball, honestly.
Swarthmore's getting a good one. Dingle, swing and a miss. Good is retired in 3 pitches. And the batters in the Hawks dugout seem intent on getting back up.
5 pitches in this inning. You already got 2 outs if you're Eddie Dingle. I mean, I don't know what he was able to do this inning. I mean, the coaches, they must have given him a challenge or something. I don't know what they did. Maybe they said no practice tomorrow if you get 2 strikeouts in this inning or something. I don't know.
You jinxed him, man. That pitch was high.
Well, announcers
called for a ball.
I've been
Cockerell back up, 261 at the plate.
I've been subjected to some announcers jinx it sometimes.
I only jinx in the positive way.
Wow, okay.
Dingle delivers the 1-0, makes it 2-0.
You know what? I might as well just give the headset to Anthony Correa at this point. I mean,
nobody wants to hear that.
Oh, what? Anthony Correa put on a great broadcast at Cardinal O'Hara.
Great guy here.
Yeah.
Delivered in, swing and a miss on the Heat.
Well, the fastballs were not working, so you just go right back to that slider if you're Eddie Dingle.
Yeah.
I mean, Roman, as I mentioned, has not found a way to hit against it.
It's impressive the velocity he gets on that slider.
Right.
Drops it in there.
Definitely.
Yet again drops it in there. Cockerell swing and the miss.
I mean, Roman, they just can't really find a way to hit it. It's just not, you just can't really say much more about it.
Pitch is low, check swing. he's all safe right there. Full count.
Yeah, I did think that I don't really think he went around
Yeah.
there, but good.
Got to be unbiased.
Great job there from Rome. Right there. That you don't want to swing on that, as it's worked almost every single time, that slider.
Dingle delivers, grounded into the Hawks dugout.
That almost hit Coach Stins.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's a ride, man.
That is our ride to the game.
Not
Please.
grounded, a little liner off the ground, but still.
Yeah. That's our ride. We cannot have him go anywhere.
Never seen a man drive a van better.
Oh yeah.
Dingle delivers the full count yet again. We'll see what he has. Off Iannicone's foot, it's low, and Cockerell will run safe at first.
That's just unfortunate there for Eddie Dingle. You get the strikeout, but it just bounced. I believe it bounced off the plate. I think I heard
called
a bit
strike three,
right.
bounces low though.
I think it bounced off the plate, and that's just unfortunate. Not much you can do if you're Iannicone there. You know, you never anticipate that the ball's going to bounce off the plate, and he made the throw over. It just was a bit high to Keenan.
I always love seeing those odd scenarios. Guy gets on base because he outruns a called strike three.
Yeah.
Beautiful motion on that pitch by Dingle. Drops in and sells, has no clue what hit him.
The pitch breaks so late that you just think it's a fastball inside.
Again, the vibe that Eddie Dingle's pretty good at pitching as he delivers the 0-1 to Sells. Sells will line it down the right field foul line, and it comes in fair. Hawks will bring it in as runners take scoring positions for Roman. Ducks in a pond here.
Well, you found a way to get on. If you're Roman, you found a way to hit off that pitch. Hopefully Sells at the end of this inning can relay that back to his guys.
Yeah, sorry, scoring position. First and second for the Cahillites.
Did you say scoring positions?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even hear that. Good catch there.
First and second for Roman. 2 outs, though. Precarious situation for Dingle, but Eddie outsolves it. Drops it low. Iannicone manages to stop it. Runners won't advance.
Something that I've seen great from Iannicone over the course of the season is that when there's a wild pitch, he's able to just shift the ball and shift his body over to the spot where, he doesn't want the runners to steal. He kind of shifted his body so there's no steal at third, and that's just something that I don't think a lot of people talk about. Dingle is the 1-0. Drops it in there beautifully for a strike. I mean, I really just that one on that slider there. It looked like it was on the inside, but then it just right back down the middle, and it's just so hard to
mention though. Pat Buckley is at the plate right now, hitting .250 on the year. Yeah. Third batter in the order for Roman. Swing and a miss on a high ball right there. Got a bit greedy there if you're Buckley. Obviously, Dingle has done a really great job when it comes to dropping the pitch in there. And, you get an opportunity to hit a fastball. If you're Roman, I would try and swing at it almost every single time. 1-2 here, pitcher's count. See if Buckley can make something of the 2 runners on base or if he'll leave him stranded. Dingle delivers. Outside check swing. And he is called out. Strike 3. Buckley leaves 2 men stranded as Prep escapes the inning scoreless yet again. Eddie Dingle's pitching the main story. Yeah, he's done absolutely incredible. I mean, you want me to say it again, Dom? The slider has just been absolutely... Oh, no way, man. It's just been absolutely incredible, and you just can't say anything more about it. I mean, it's just been great, and obviously he gave up the 2 runners there, but I mean, I don't think that's anything to, hang your head over. I mean, you can't really criticize him for anything at all. He's just been that great, and even that pitch to Sells was just a little blooper, and it, unfortunately for him, was able to stay fair. I'm sure that's something you could criticize him on. Maybe he's not that good at parallel parking. Well, I mean, at this point, you might have to criticize him for parallel parking. You might have to criticize him for, I don't know what he does that isn't great, but it's certainly not, pitching well. Right, did I word that wrong? I think I did. I don't know. He pitches really great, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, thank you. I mean, he's just been great, and obviously, Iannicone has done great as well. Looks like he's been calling some great pitches there behind the dish, and you just appreciate it there. Yeah. Don't.
I always got to give some love to the catchers.
Carter steps back up to the mound for the third inning. 3.67 ERA on the year. Already passed that today. Allowed 6 so far. Well, you could say some of them aren't earned due to the errors in the outfield.
True. But one thing I do want to point out is that there is nobody warming up currently for Roman. So possibly they could have a guy warmed up. And
Just ready to go.
Yeah, just ready to go, just in case, things go south here in the prep. I think that's what they are hoping to accomplish in this third inning.
Throw down here to second. And the Hawks will start off in the third inning. Bottom of the third here. Hawks lead 6-0. 7 hits to just 3 for the K-Lights. John Sittler up to bat. One of the 3. Oh, I was going to say one of the 2 men with a home run, but Will Ward hit his home run.
That is true.
Sittler takes one low, but still in the strike zone. Carter starts off the inning with a solid pitch. Sittler takes the 0-1 low and inside ball.
It looked like Carter got a bit shaken up there on the mound. He kind of looked down as he was winding up. I don't know if there was something on there. We obviously saw the dirt, the big block of dirt at Bishop Eustace yesterday. I don't know if
Yeah,
it was
that's odd.
something like that. But I don't know. It was a bit of an odd wind up.
Sittler check swing, called ball.
That one kind of looked like it was a strike. I mean, it might have been a bit on the outside, but good composure there by Sittler to just hold back on that one.
Hey man, do you think Stin's brought us here to disagree with calls?
Well, I'm just, well, as you said, you got to be honest.
Agreed. Time called.
Probably reminding. I guess Sittler's got to stay in the batter's box. I don't know what's going on here.
Bit of musical chairs.
I think Carter must have said something. I don't know. The umpire kind of yelling at him. Oh, I think he telling something over there to St. Joe's Prep as well. I guess the Prep must have said
I don't know what he's got, but he's got it.
Yeah,
His headphones, high quality,
yeah,
but
I know.
we can't hear too much on the field.
The best at
Yeah.
WSJP. That's
High standard.
Oh yeah, very high standard over here. Only the best. Only the best.
Sittler will take yet again, hitting 304. He'll take one high, good frame job, but no dice. Ball called.
As I mentioned repeatedly.
3-1 count.
As I've mentioned repeatedly, you don't want to see the Prep, get greedy or anything like that when it comes to the pitches. So anything high, anything high, low, outside, inside, you don't really want to swing at.
3-1 dealt low in for a strike. Sittler was starting to walk towards first base, expecting the walk. Does not get it.
Well,
Unfortunately, I do have to agree with the umpire there.
Well, I've talked about how umpires, they don't like it when you move in the batter's box. They also don't like it when you start to move the first base when you think it's a walk. So if I was Sittler, I would just stand in the box there.
Full count delivered right down the middle. Sittler will line it out to center. Sells cannot haul it in. He dives and misses. Ball is back at the warning track. Sittler round
He
second.
can go home.
He's about around third. Sells tosses it into the cutoff man, and Sittler decides to sit on third.
I thought he could have gotten home there. I think he gassed
I don't
out
know
a
if he's
bit.
frustrated or if he just hit an axe chop celebration at third.
I think
Either way, it's justified because he could have rounded, but chooses to stay cautious and sit on third.
he might have gassed out a bit going over to second. I mean, obviously the heat, you can get gassed out easily. I think that he might have got a bit gassed going over to third there, but at the end of the day, it's not that deep. You got a triple, and it was a good throw in there by Sells, so you don't want to risk getting out at the plate here.
No outs and a man on third. Exact position Jack Keenan wants to be as he comes up to the plate. First baseman hitting 179 on the year.
Keenan 0 for 1 stepping up, but Sittler was
Conversation
also,
between the infield umpire and
I think
Sells in center. He still hasn't put his cap back on.
Sells lose his hat, or his hat, something wrong with his hat.
Did hit the ground a bit hard, I'm sure, when he was diving
Maybe-
for it.
maybe
Might
it's
have
a bit-
tweaked something.
Maybe a
Don't
bit-
want to speculate, though.
Yeah.
So, Sullivan, I mean, Hawks leading 6-0. I mean, what's the fundamentals you're noticing?
I mean, it's just been great batting up there. Obviously, the Hawks, they came out aggressive. They were able to, obviously, the two-run home run by Ward and the steals, and it's just really been the Prep just when they've had the lead and they've just been able to keep their composure, not be too greedy, as I've mentioned beforehand, and just, play just really good fundamental baseball. They've swung at pitches that they've liked, and, if there's a strike in there that they don't like, you're up 5-0. It's not going to hurt you that much.
First pitch in there for a strike against Keenan.
And all you need here if you're the Prep, long fly ball, maybe a little blooper to one of the infield guys. Though Roman is playing a bit in the infield.
Keenan out to center field yet again with Sells. Sells will have to run up, and he'll manage to make the grab. Desperate by Roman to get the ball home, but Sittler doesn't even go.
I would have liked to see a tag up there by Sittler. I mean, I know the speed that he has. And I expected a tag. 6 stolen bases on the year. I mean,
given how Roman's been throwing, I wouldn't be shocked. But
yeah, I mean,
Sittler chooses to stay put, not tag up. Sells makes the nice routine play out in center field.
Yeah, I would have really liked to see something there.
Tommy Murta, the second baseman, up now for the Hawks. 2:31 on the year.
Murta 1 for 1.
One out, man on third. We'll see if Carter can escape the dangerous situation he's in.
Once again, all you need is a long fly ball.
Outside there for the ball. Good eye by Murta.
Something that would not be so great for the Prep is if you did get a walk, because that can possibly create a double play opportunity.
Exactly.
So if I am Murta, I mean, a walk is great. We know the speed that he has, but it can get a bit tricky with runners on the corners.
Lowen inside right there.
See Sittler on third. He really wanted to go home there. I think
Murta puts his palm out, trying to tell him to wait up.
I think he thought that he was about to get home there, but I think he was a bit disappointed.
Saw it earlier with Van Dien.
Right.
Ball was thrown over Vez's head. Pitch seemed a bit high, but Kelly manages to bring it down for the strike. 2-1 count here.
Great.
Sullivan, don't say it.
Yeah, I mean, I have to.
You do.
Great framing. And that looked to be on the bit on the outside, but
it was a bit on the outside.
But the framing was so great that it was able to call a strike.
2-1 delivered to Murta. High and outside. 3-1 here. Advantageous to him.
No debate about that one. Murta did a great job. Once again, just keeping his composure. Obviously, anything that he doesn't like, you saw that one that was, a bit ticky-tacky. He didn't like it, so he didn't swing, and now he's got a favorable count here.
High and outside yet again. Murta will take his base, creating that double play opportunity you were talking about, Sullivan. As the lead, sorry, not the lead up batter. What am I talking about? We still have Chris Steinmetz.
Yes, Steinmetz, the 9-hole hitter.
Beautiful outfielder and wide receiver 5 on the depth chart this year for football.
Yeah, obviously has played.
Threw the ball plenty, so got plenty of tick.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Obviously played great in the football season. Now at center fielder, if you're a center fielder, you got to be one of the
shows off those wide receiver hands too.
Right? You got to also be one of the faster guys on the field, and no doubt about it that he played absolutely incredible.
Steinmetz hitting 200 flat this year. Goes out for the bunt. Chooses to pull it back. Strike called.
Well, once again, if I'm, Steinmetz, I would just try to hit a long fly ball. I mean, there's no need to possibly, strike out here trying to bunt and, to have 2 outs, and it becomes a less favorable situation for St. Joe's Prep. I would try to hit a long fly ball, and Sittler could tag up.
Mert is going to steal, and the ball is fumbled away by Kelly. He will easily walk in the second.
Steinmetz is a bit greedy there when it came to the swing and miss. It was a good break on the ball, though, from Carter. It got on the outside just in the end there.
Yeah, Murta, only his second stolen base of the year.
Yeah. But we obviously know the speed is you got to be somewhat speedy if you play second base.
Yeah.
So you got to like it there.
See what Steinmetz pulls out of the hat here. Steinmetz swing and a miss, and he will strike out. Carter will try to get out of this brutal positioning. Runners in both scoring possessions for the Hawks as the leadoff man, Emilio Iannicone, comes up yet again. See if he can come up big in the clutch here.
Well, I really liked the swing there by Snitemans, and I know I saw him go to the dugout. He seemed a bit frustrated with himself, but the swing was just really, really good. And, I think 9 times out of 10, he gets contact on that ball, and that's just the one time he doesn't.
Anacone high and outside. Good eye right there as he draws the ball.
Anacone has been arguably the Prep's best hitter so far. I mean, 2 singles up that second base. I mean, if I was
good, hasn't been able to haul in either of them.
Right, if I was good, I'd move a bit over near second, as Anacone has played great hitting the ball right near that spot.
Pop to the right and over us. 1-1.
I wonder who goes and gets those at the end of the inning. I have not seen anybody go there and get them. Maybe it's a player. I think I saw WSJP's own Cole Kuhn. Yeah, I thought he went over there and get some. I don't know.
1-1 to Anacone. High and outside yet again.
For Anacone, I mean, almost a theme. Don't get greedy for St. Joe's Prep, and you haven't seen it that much. Obviously, he got a bit greedy on a few of his swings, but Anacone has been really composed up there in the batter's box so far.
Anacone takes one low but accurate, and it will be called a ball down in the dirt.
I don't know if Sittler, he's got a date or something, but I mean, he is just really wanting to get to home right now.
Who wouldn't?
But he's just trying to get to home, and you see him take a really big lead after the pitch every single time.
Anacone pops it up into center field for Sells. Sells is running. Hat comes off. Makes the grab to avoid any more catastrophe for Roman. Side is retired as the Hawks manage to... as the Caholites manage to hold the Hawks scoreless in the bottom of the third. We will be taking just a quick break before we come back for the top of the fourth. Thank you all for listening as we approach the halfway point of this game. Welcome back to WSJP. We resume broadcasting here in the top of the fourth as Eddie Dingle delivers yet another strike right down the middle and another swing and a miss by Roman.
I mean, I feel like I'm just getting a criticism for repeatedly saying the exact same thing every single time. The fastball.
Eddie Dingle's got
slider.
good stuff.
Yeah, it's fastball to slider. It's incredible.
Yet another strike delivered to Liam Kelly. He'll go down 0-2 in the hole.
Dom, you know what I'm going to say next, right? The framing.
Don't say it. Oh, I thought you were going to say something with the slider. And then I'm like,
no. The framing. Great framing there by Anacone.
Big framing guy.
Yeah.
Little low right there. Thought he was going to get Kelly on 3 straight pitches yet again.
Yeah, I thought he was about to swing there. I kind of moved my head a bit, and I was like, oh, for your sake, don't swing. But great pitch there by
For your
Dingle.
sake, he's on Roman.
Well, I can't be
Time
biased
called.
towards the prep. Can't be biased towards the prep every single pitch. You know what I mean?
I'm not biased. I'm just
That's what I'm
a
saying.
rational prep fan.
That's what I'm saying.
A rational student of the game.
Student of the game, aren't we all?
Yeah.
Aren't we all?
Kelly will step back into the batter's box as Dingle gets ready to deliver the 0-2. Serves up yet another pitch with plenty of drop, but drops just a bit too far.
Yeah, we don't see many fastballs on the outside from Dingle.
But again, sorry, that was the 1-2. 2-2 now to Kelly. Hitting 250 on the year. Been behind the plate for Roman today. Drops it in there. Kelly will hit a little dribbler out to third base, and he beats out the throw by just a foot. Impressive legwork by him.
Yeah, that just sucks if you're the prep. I mean, there's not much you can do there for Ward.
Yeah.
You just, I mean.
Yeah, well, Ward, I mean, he gets on top of the ball quickly. He makes a good throw. It's just Kelly has a bit more legs than you'd expect from a catcher.
Right.
Although a pinch runner will come in for the KO's Daniel Poper. We have a single stat listed for him, and it's 1 stolen base. Fitting.
Well, I mean, they want to use him more as a pinch runner, as what the stats show, and I mean, probably got some speed then. See if he steals here.
Yeah, first baseman for Roman up, Daniel Malloy. High pitch snagged out of the air by Anacone. Impressive work.
I thought that was coming our way, and I was, I got a bit scared there every time I feel the ball's going to come through the fence. But nonetheless, great job there by Anacone. Make sure to keep the ball and not try to let this get too out of hand.
Dingle serves up a ball here. Malloy starting off with a good count, 2-0.
That one just hit the outside at the end of the pitch.
Yeah.
I think if Anacone
Broke a little too hard.
Yeah, I think if Anacone would have framed it just a bit more inside, he might have gotten the call.
We're not here to offer critique, man.
No, I'm just saying, though.
Dingle drops it in on Malloy. Taller man means a bigger strike zone, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely what they say. And great job by Dingle to notice that. And he's trying to now. Poper taking a bit of a generous lead. Yeah, there's the throwback.
Solid pickoff attempt by Dingle. Keenum gets the tag on, but not too close. Poper, I mean, he's out there for one reason. He's got my favorite piece of gear on, the stealing mitt.
Oh, we talked about this beforehand.
Yeah. Back to Malloy at the plate. He'll take a big chop and miss.
Yeah, the big chop on the
2-2.
slider. That has just been absolutely incredible throughout the course of the game. And
I think everyone on Roman's taking a big chop at that slider. They've also all missed. Yet another pickoff attempt by Dingle. This one less close than last time. Keenan doesn't bother to apply a tag.
I think those pickoff attempts are, not really to get him out. I don't think they expect it. I think it's just to say,
Keep him in check.
Yeah, we don't want him to steal.
Yeah. Malloy will swing and hit a little blooper out into that right center gap. Will be recovered by the Hawks and tossed in. Simple base hit for big boy Malloy.
Great nickname, and also a great play there by Robbie Grasso, able to make sure that doesn't get through the gap too much, and he kept Poper there at second. And I was anticipating him to go to third based off of the speed, the confidence that they have in his speed, but they kept him in second, and that's just a testament to how good Robbie Grasso is at getting the ball in.
Malloy will get a pinch runner. Let me take a peek at who that is. Oh, that's my guy. That is the man I mentioned earlier. Number 18, Francis Graff, alumni of St. Francis Xavier.
Oh, man.
And the Fairmount Sports Association.
Well, I might have to start shouting out the Waldron guys from now on.
There's too many of those guys. I only graduated with 12 St. Francis kids. I got to mention them.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we have a lot of... Well, you turned out great from St. Francis, Tom.
Oh, thanks, man.
Of course. And a bit of a problem here on the dish. I don't really know what's going on.
Hopefully it's no pine tar.
I doubt that. Not in high school baseball.
I was doing it back in Little League.
Whoa, Dom. They might come for you.
Yeah, through a mean knuckleball.
Looks like we're gonna get a bunt here.
Yeah, it does appear we're going to get a bunt here.
Keenan playing inside, too.
A bunt here from the nameless man. Bunt goes straight to Dingle. He'll make the easy play at first.
Well, he did his job.
Basic sacrifice bunt.
He did his job. You can't criticize him at all for it. He did his job. He was able to get the runners
Graff
to advance, and now
the 2 pinch runners, Graff and Poper, will advance.
and this is kind of the dream situation, I would say.
Julian Daniels comes up, hitting 62 from the plate this year. But I mean, this is, as you said, the dream situation. Exactly where Roman wants to be. Only 1 out. Men in both scoring positions.
And they're both your pinch runners, your best runners on the team.
Yeah. Ducks are in the pond.
Yeah.
Pitch delivered right down the middle. Foul tip.
I think that hit the umpire just a bit there on the.
Yeah, just grazed him.
Yeah.
Look at Blue. He'll be fine.
Oh yeah, looks like a tough guy out there.
No need to be a fangirl.
Well, I mean, you gotta inform the audience whether that comes to the prep, the Roman, or the toughness of our officials.
0-1 to Daniels here, trying to knock in these pinch runners. See if Dingle can serve up something good. He'll drop it in, swinging a miss by Daniels. 0-2.
As you guys might remember, Daniels was the one who tossed his bat over to the Roman Catholic dugout earlier.
Emphatic strikeout.
And that was from the sliders. I think Dingle knows what to do.
Dingle floats it up high, gets yet another swing and a miss. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and Daniels is retired.
Iannacone just trying to keep these batters on their toes. I anticipated the slider there because it's worked so well against these Roman batters, especially against Daniels. And
freshman phenom Jack Brown up now, bottom of the order, hitting .312 from the 9 slot. Not what you normally see.
0 for 1 here today, but it would definitely impress the Roman coaches if he was able to, possibly knock in 1 or 2 of these runs. You want to get up in that order.
Graff especially taking a massive lead off second.
Yeah.
Pitch is high and outside. Good eye by Brown.
Typically don't see the slider be a bit high, so I think it was just unusual that Brown saw that.
Yeah.
So
it's also thrown probably 25 of them today.
That is very. I think maybe a little more than that.
Yeah. Brown swinging a miss right there.
Got him right there on the fastball, and the slider hasn't really worked the last few times, so you might as well just go to the fastball, try and switch things up.
2-1 count against Brown. Brown will swing, foul tip. Protecting the plate well. 2-2.
That's exactly what you wanted there if you're Dingle. The pitch looked a bit low. You typically don't see it go that low on the slider, so I think if you're Dingle, you kind of can breathe on that one. But if I'm Dingle, I might want to go with the high fastball here.
2-2. Dingle serves up a beautiful pitch with some beautiful motion. Just doesn't quite get inside enough.
Yeah, the motion, and Dom, you called it out completely correct. You just didn't get the motion on that one.
Full count. Men on third and second. Brown will take a moment to compose himself in the box. 2 outs. Men in both scoring positions. Full count. All the pressure on Jack Brown and Eddie Dingle. Dingle drops it in. Brown misses, and the Hawks get out of the inning scoreless.
Dom, what was the pitch? It was the slider. I mean, once again, it is just his go-to pitch. I mean, it has just been absolutely incredible throughout the course of the game, and you just can't say much more about it. And I've said that a million times, but I mean, there's nothing else you can analyze when it comes to it. It just every single time it breaks just at the right time, and the Roman guys, they're expecting it to go right down the plate. They're expecting an all-speed down the plate, and then it just zips right to the outside.
Exactly.
And now the prep coming back up is, their hitting has been great. Obviously, not a run scored in the last inning, but they had 2 runners on. And, you come up with your cleanup guy, that being Chris Grasso. You see if he can, maybe ruffle some feathers there on Roman, as they were warming some guys up earlier, but it seems like they have stopped doing that. I think they have confidence in all the guys out there, confidence that Kelly will, call a good game, and, just confidence really in the whole team right now. You try to get back into this one, but your bats have got to come alive. But getting back to St. Joe's Prep here, you're just hoping that, somebody like Veza, who is leading off. I think I said Chris Grasso earlier. I apologize. But, somebody like Veza who's leading off, you just hope that, he can possibly get on base here and start it off early, as you're definitely in the driver's seat if you're St. Joe's Prep. But a few runs and, getting the stats up a little bit would definitely not
Hawks made a big comeback
hurt.
against Cardinal O'Hara. I mean,
Yeah. Could put Anthony Correa on them. Like, he could definitely do a test of how incredible that game was. You saw 2 home runs from one from Johnny Sittler and the other from Dylan Palantino. That was just an incredible game to be at. And now, this has obviously been great so far as well, but you got to finish if you're St. Joe's Prep, and I'm sure that's what Coach Muth is saying to his squad right now. You got to finish. You got to make sure that, you want to try and get the shutout. You want to put something that you can really build on the film. And we'll see if they're able to do so. Get more runs in this inning.
second batter here for the Hawks, Pat Veza, will waltz up to the plate. 259 on the season. Performed very well so far this game. Veza takes the first pitch for a strike. Carter serves up yet another strike. Veza swings at a low ball.
And Veza, once again, just getting a bit greedy on that one there, as, once again, you don't really have, you got to swing on anything low like that, but a great break on that ball there, and you got to give Roman credit where credit is due.
Swings, grounder, 2-2. Routine play is made. Malloy hauls it in for the first out of the inning.
Good play there by Jack Brown, and I'm sure every little league coach is not too happy that he fielded it there with one hand, but he was able to make the play over at first. And, as you mentioned, Dom,
Sometimes you just got to clip for him.
Okay. Just a routine play there by Jack Brown, and, not really much more said about it.
Shows why he's the freshman starting on varsity.
Yeah.
The Lehigh man, Robbie Grasso, comes back up to the plate. Inside right there, called ball.
So a few times throughout this game, the Prep, they've kind of moved inside when they've seen something coming their way, and it's been called a strike sometimes.
It's just about to comment on that, dude.
Right, but now he doesn't move
Grasso
anywhere.
just stands like a statue right there, takes it even though nearly scraped him. Time called. Carter will talk to the ump alongside Kelly.
I'm not really sure maybe he's, I don't know what he's doing, but some sort of warning maybe. I don't even think Kelly knows what the problem is.
Yeah.
I think it's the way maybe he's winding up. I don't know. But anyway, with the Prep here, a team batting average of .412. I mean, a vast improvement from the last couple of games, and that is just something that you love to see. I'm sure that the coaches, if they listen to this, they're gonna, be very happy to hear that as well. I mean, I'm sure they have the stats themselves, but nonetheless,
Yeah, I was about to say.
but nonetheless, I'm sure they're
Think
gonna
Coach Stentz is on top of that?
is definitely on top of that.
Robbie pops one up right behind Malloy, and it is hauled in by the second baseman, Brown, for yet another routine pop fly. Prep bats have slowed down as we've gotten deeper into this game, something they have done with relative consistency so far this season, with the exception of that O'Hara game we've spoken on, as the brother Chris Grasso will come up.
I think Robbie on that one, he just didn't really get the barrel of the bat on it. It was a pitch
bit too under it.
Yeah, a pitch that, is broken in the inside a bit late there, and that's just unfortunate there if you are Grasso. But, if you're Card, I think that's a sigh of relief, as, the pitch was, as I just mentioned, breaking a bit late. So good thing you got the out on that one.
at the feet of Chris Grosso, and it will bounce high and into the backstop. Ball obvious.
Yeah, that one, as I mentioned earlier with Iannicone, you just don't you never anticipate that one bouncing off the plate, and it obviously did there.
Grosso takes it and grounds it foul off the left side.
Prep pitching, not pitching, hitting at a lot of pitches that are, or swinging at a lot of pitches, I guess I should say, that are, you know, more on the inside. And I'm kind of interested to know why they're doing that. They were kind of, you know, we were very picky with what they were swinging at, but now it just kind of seems like they're swinging at a lot more that's on the inside.
Chris will pop this one up to center field. Sells will come in, but Brown will actually come down and grab it. And yet another pop fly grab by him means yet another inning. Roman escapes scoreless.
I really like the cut there that Chris Grasso made on that one, as he did a really nice job, you know, just getting it on the barrel of the bat there. And, you know, I don't know if it was just the power that he swung on. Maybe he swung a bit late, early, not necessarily sure, but great job there by Chris Grasso. And a team meeting currently in the on the outside of the dugout, and I think that's just Coach Muth, you know, telling his team, you know, finish the game. You know, you've seen the prep.
Can't take the pedal off the gas.
Not at all. And you have. I think that the game against Newman Goretti, they were up, and you know, it was just unfortunate that they were not able to come away with that one. So I think if you're the prep in this game, you got to make sure that, you know, you just stay composed. You just finish the game. Good pitching, as we, you know, obviously new pitcher Dom. You'll introduce him in just a second. So yeah.
Wonder where we've seen this new pitcher before. Have you?
I don't believe I have. It's not like I do a show with him.
Yeah, I mean, believe that may be co-host of the CR7 podcast.
You see, this is
Well-known prep photographer, CK Shoots. I believe that is sophomore Cole Kuhn up there.
I do believe so, and you know, I love this because now I can promote my show for the next 2 years.
I don't want to hear it, man.
Anytime he comes up to pitch, we will be back this Friday on WSJP's YouTube Friday afternoon. Newest edition of the CR7 podcast. Make sure you guys tune in.
Cole Kuhn, a 4-pitch man right here. Oh, I'm sorry, actually.
Yeah,
I will let you get your CR7 promo off.
Latest edition was on my YouTube channel at Ryan the Great RTG. Make sure you guys go check
No
that
self-promotion on WSJP.
Well, I actually,
focus on the game.
No, I was promoting the show, which was on my YouTube channel. I got to tell the people where it was.
Yeah.
I didn't say subscribe.
Producing personal content with WSJP resources.
I didn't say subscribe. You can if you'd like to, but I didn't say you had to. Yeah. Nonetheless.
Let me introduce Cole Kuhn.
Yeah.
Cole Kuhn, a 4-pitch man, throws a sinker, 4-seam fastball, knuckle curve, and the changeup. Sinker, I mean, goes as high as 91 miles an hour. Fastball, 90. Curveball, 74. Changeup, 77. I mean, 91 as a sophomore. One of the more impressive players. One of the few sophomores on this team.
Yeah, one of the two. Also with Chris Grasso, you've also seen some swing guys, that being David Locker and Alex Orespi, but Cole Kuhn and Chris Grasso, the only two, you know, varsity guys that are just set on varsity. But, you know, Dom, you were talking earlier about the 91-mile-an-hour sinker. The fastest pitch that I've ever seen a high school player thrown live is David Perez throwing 95 miles an hour, and he's a senior committed to West Virginia. So, you know, you can only anticipate the improvement that we will see from Cole Kuhn.
4.0 GPA, too, by the way.
That's what they say, and we anticipate that Cole Kuhn, by the time he's a senior, and that seems so far away, but you know, by that time we hope that he is you know, starting pitcher, and obviously started against Cardinal O'Hara, but we hope that he is the day one starter.
Always bringing up that O'Hara game. We milk it.
Yeah,
it was a great game for us.
It was a great game, but you know,
great game for the Hawks.
Kuhn in this season, a 2.62 ERA. You can't get much better for a sophomore on varsity.
First pitch by Kuhn, fouled off by. We are back at the top of the order for Roman Catholic, so that was fouled off by Jason Good. Swing and a miss by Jason Good. 0-2 count for him. Familiar spot. Umpire talking to Cole Kuhn. Good both ready. Kuhn delivers the 0-2. Curve nearly whacks Good, but he manages to bend it like Beckham out of the way.
Bit there on the inside from Kuhn.
Kuhn will drop it in, but not enough. Stays a bit high for the ball. 2-2.
Good pitch there from Kuhn. I think he was anticipating a high swing.
Kuhn will just fire it in there for the ball, apparently.
Man, they called it a ball there, as could it be argued it was a bit low.
Kuhn fires it inside for the walk, and Jason Good will take his base as the leadoff man.
If you're Kuhn, I mean, that could, be a bit demoralizing, as there were a few that could have possibly been called your way, but you could tell that he's not worried about it. He's already in his stance, ready to go.
Alex Cockerell up now. First pitch. Strike.
I would also like to point out, but it is also a, it's the testament to how great Emilio Iannacone has been this season. I believe that's his first drop at the plate.
Yeah. Yet another strike by Cole Kuhn. Swing and a miss by Cockerell.
A bit on the inside there.
0-2 count yet again. We'll see if Kuhn can capitalize this time.
A bit on the inside there from Kuhn, but it was right at the gut from Cockerell.
Drops in there. Iannacone stares down at first, but Good won't go, and the pitch is called a ball.
Good eye there from Cockerell, and you got to give credit to Kuhn there on that pitch. It broke, it kind of at the same time that Eddie Dingle's pitches were breaking, but just no swing there.
1-2, still pitcher advantage. Delivers on the 1-2. Easy ground it to Johnny Sittler, and he will not manage to make the throw to first. Keenan throws a bit too high to him, and he'll have to jump as Cockerell makes it to first, and Good will advance to second.
It's been a bit of a theme for St. Joe's Prep here today, that the throws to first have been a bit high. You saw the one from Iannacone earlier in the game on the strike, on the I guess you could say what was a strikeout, and then one from Ward was a bit high, and then obviously this one now from Sittler a bit high to Keenan. But if you're the Prep, you just settle down. It's all right.
Yeah. Kuhn delivers one in there for a strike.
Great pitch there from Kuhn right down the plate.
Nope.
If you're Roman, you don't want to get too greedy. You got 2 runners on, no outs.
Men on first and second.
Want to swing at what you like.
Kuhn, the 0-1, strikes it in yet again. 3 batters in a row, starting with an 0-2 count. We'll see if he can capitalize against Sells, the center fielder here. Men on first and second with no outs for Roman. Kuhn's going to have to pitch himself out of a bit of a jam here.
It's all about the finish, and that's what you got to see here from Kuhn.
Sells, swing, and the miss. Kuhn, 3-pitch strikeout right there.
That one low, Kuhn. I mean, he's throwing 2 a bit
Gets
high.
the bite.
And he's throwing a few a bit high, and then, he's making sure that one was a bit low just to take Sells off his game just a little bit there, kind of confuse him, and give him credit where credit is due.
Kuhn delivers, and Buckley with the swing and the miss.
And
Buckley
Kuhn.
hitting .250 from the plate this year.
Kuhn looks like he's starting to settle into this one as he's throwing. He started off, I believe, every batter with a strike.
That time by Buckley's knees, hold duck out of the way. Ball.
If Buckley didn't move there, that possibly could have hit him there, so you get lucky there if you're Kuhn on that one.
Yeah. Here's the windup. 1-1 pitch. Drops in there for a strike. Gorgeous motion.
Yeah, Don, I think you were thinking the exact same thing, that was going to drop in there for a strike. I think everybody in the crowd was anticipating that one to drop in there. It was an incredible pitch there by Kuhn.
1-2. Kuhn has had all of his batters to at least 2 strikes. Makes the I thought that was totally a strike.
I was getting ready to hear your call for a strikeout, I think, but you got to give credit to Kuhn. We're all up here.
Even a good frame, Iannacone didn't get it.
I think all of us.
I didn't even think it needed the frame, but
right.
Pitch call definitely low. Kuhn will pitch that one bit high and outside.
getting back to that last bit, I think everybody up here was anticipating the strike call, and what can you do? Just got to. But Kuhn, I mean, give him credit. He's hasn't really had a reaction to it at all. He's been composed there on the mound.
Full count. Popped up right into our back area. Hits the backstop hard.
Well, for once, I didn't flinch at it.
Yeah.
So, gotta give me
I
credit.
flinched that time. I feel like you transferred it to me.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm honestly not complaining.
Yeah. But full count here. Buckley battling at the plate. Kuhn trying to sneak one past him. Kuhn bit high right there. Doesn't get the drop. And Buckley will take his base, as the bases are loaded here in the top of the 5th against Cole Kuhn. Having some issues converting these strikes into actual strikeouts as he comes in relief.
Well, I think that, we were talking about it a bit earlier, how, one of those pitches should have been a strikeout, but just unfortunate that it wasn't called his way. But, if you're Kuhn, you've gotten a few ones that haven't gone your way.
And Liam Kelly gets plunked on the first pitch, giving Roman their first run on the game. Kelly gets hit right under the armpit as the leadoff man, Jason Good, will score for the K-Lights.
Yeah, it stings if you're Kuhn there. I mean, you just, well, as I just mentioned, you could have had a couple pitches that might have gone your way, but, the last few just haven't seemed to. And, good job by Iannacone here, to be a leader, get to the mound, and just, tell Kuhn whatever he has to, what they want to accomplish in this at-bat and what pitches they'd like to see thrown.
Iannacone just trying to keep the Hawks from being rattled.
And some conversation from Roman and the umpire.
Yeah.
But I believe there was there's a pinch runner on first. I can't see the number at the current moment in time.
It's definitely not the same man. That's definitely not Liam Kelly, given the shiny red helmet.
I used to have. I think he used to have that exact helmet.
Oh.
I think I still have it lying around somewhere. I might have to bring it to one of the WSJP broadcasts.
Please keep it away.
Oh, why not?
Coming up to the plate now is the first baseman, a big boy power hitter, Daniel Malloy.
That's a historic artifact that from the history. That big red helmet. Even though you like the sliding mitt a bit more.
Do have to shout out WSJP's resident Big Rad Ryan Connaughton.
This is true.
Great guy.
Great guy. But you like the sliding mitt a bit more than the helmet.
True.
We'll talk about that later.
Dan Malloy up now. First baseman, he'll take his first pitch outside for a ball.
That one broke a bit late on the outside if you're Kuhn. That's just unfortunate there. The wind might have carried it. You feel a bit of a breeze.
Feels nice on me, but probably not nice for his pitches. Hooks up Malloy deep and inside.
Yeah, it's a good thing if you're Kuhn here. I mean,
jammed him.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pitch a bit on the inside.
Bit of signaling here. I think it was signaling a tip, but I don't see how that would matter.
I think they're warning him of a possible balk.
Oh yeah, balks. I mean, that would never get called in a St. Joe's Prep baseball game.
Dom, I think that we've
no
seen
more
it way
Newman
too
flashbacks.
much. Yes, I'm not going to even mention it.
Yeah. 1-1 comes. Grounded to Kuhn off his glove. Man will score for Roman, but Malloy is thrown out at first.
I don't think Kuhn was even anticipating, for him to even make a throw there, but he realized it a bit later and didn't make the best throw over to first, but you got to give credit to Jack Keenan for being able to get it off the dirt.
Yeah, impressive fielding by Keenan there at first. Cockerell comes in for Roman, making the score 2-1. I mean, 2-1, 2-6. I sure hope it's not 2-1. Cole Kuhn delivers quickly here. Ball is grounded to Will Ward at third. He will rocket it across the diamond to Jack Keenan at first and get the out.
That is possibly the farthest throw you can make if you were Ward, and obviously you saw the speed over there at first and just made a great dime over there to Jack Keenan.
Bases loaded with Bases loaded in a precarious situation turns into only 2 runs against the Hawks. Could have been much worse for Cole Kuhn in his relief appearance. We'll hope he can bounce back next inning.
We go to the bottom of the 5th now, as this is, we're close to the end here. I mean, I think that you got to give Kuhn credit. He stayed composed. There were a couple pitches in there that I don't think the audience would like to agree with, as, I'm sure we have a most St. Joe's Prep audience tuning in, but nonetheless. And, you stayed out there, you stayed composed, never really reacted to any of the calls that some might deem not strikeable.
We're a relatively unbiased broadcast.
Well, I mean, you got to call it as it is sometimes, but nonetheless, yeah, I think Kuhn just did a great job in that category there. I mean, you give up 2 runs, what can you do at the end of the day sometimes? Sometimes just doesn't go your way, but, it is 6-2, and as I mentioned earlier, finishing the game. You got to finish, and I think that the Prep, they realized that. I'm sure Coach Muth was saying that in the dugout earlier, right before this inning started. And you only give up 2 runs there. It's nothing to really, get all upset about. But if you're the Prep, just got to finish.
Well said, man. Well said.
Thank you.
New pitcher out there for Roman Catholic. Was wondering when they were going to do it. It is the man you mentioned warming up, the junior, Brendan Saccone. So far on the season, a 7 ERA in 3 appearances.
Yeah, no wins, no losses. Been one of those resident relievers you've seen from Roman Catholic over the course of the season. And looking here, it looks like he throws a little bit of off-speed stuff, down the plate. So if you are somebody like William Ward, who did an incredible job, hitting that home run earlier in the game, I'm sure that's a pitch that you would love to see. Also looks like Danny Matthews is going to be pinch hitting for Jack Keenan sooner rather than later.
Saw that in the Bishop Eustace game as well.
We did see that, and Matthews, I don't believe he got a hit in that game, but you've seen a couple of more reps from him.
There weren't many hits in that game for either team.
There were not, but, I think we've seen a little bit more reps for Danny Matthews. I think that in a game where the Prep leads at 4 runs, I think Coach Muth and the rest of the coaching staff, they would like to, see what they got in their guys. As you saw at the end of the game, Nolan Morowski was able to get a hit in the Bishop Eustace game, and we could possibly see him start in some games moving forward. Obviously, a Cumberland commit, and possibly see him starting at second base. So I think the Prep, they just want to see what they got in their guys. But William Ward, he's been a guy that has been it's not really starting at third base that much.
Saccone, obviously the new pitcher for Roman Catholic. He will be facing man we just mentioned. Oh, wait, no, not the man we just mentioned.
That's what I was talking about, before the unfortunate technical interruption. William Ward, we haven't really seen him play at third base that much. Robbie Grasso moved over to center for the last 2 games, but Ward, obviously, one of those guys that the Prep have seen late in games, and, he's been able to hit the ball well, and obviously, hit a home run in this game. You can't get much better than that.
Tossed a rope across to Jack Keenan early just to end that previous inning. But Ward now back up here, facing Saccone. See if he can bring up prior success. Ball goes high right there. Ball initially.
And you saw in the warm-ups that Saccone was kind of dropping it down the plate on the off-speed. That one a bit high there, so as I mentioned before, it's been a theme in the last couple of innings that, the Prep, they don't want to get greedy with any of the pitches that they're swinging at.
Ward swing and miss at the 1-0. He'll step out of the batter's box, readjust.
I think he realizes that, he's just swung a bit late on that one. If he just got the bat off his shoulder a bit earlier, we could possibly, possibly could have seen him on first or second base.
See how Ward adjusts. Now he's getting used to Saccone. The 1-1 swung on by Ward and fouled off to left.
Well, he got the bat off his shoulder well, but obviously he was not able to hit it on the barrel of the bat, but I think that he's making progress throughout this at bat. Obviously, first pitch, took for a ball, and obviously second pitch took in there for a swing and a miss strike, and this time able to make some contact with it. So he's progressively making progress throughout this at bat.
Progressively making progress.
I thought that was a good
All
one.
right.
I thought that was good.
All right, bro.
But yeah, he's making progress throughout this at bat, and we could possibly see maybe him get a base knock here, make even more progress.
Time called. Ward will step out of the batter's box, readjust his grip. 1-2 to Ward is inside and low. Dropped by the catcher Kelly, and Ward will even out the count 2-2.
1-2 count. It's favorable for Saccone. You might as well just, throw one a bit low, see if you can get him to swing, see where Ward's head's at. Obviously, as I have mentioned and what the prep has shown is that they're not swinging at much, and that's what they are going to continue to do.
Well, Ward, favorite player, Cubs Javier Baez. I have to respect it.
You see,
as that pitch right there is inside and on the dirt.
Cubs Javier Baez. That was something.
He had the juice, man.
Yeah, he
Not the
does.
steroid juice, just like
Yeah, I got
the
you.
star juice, you know?
I got you.
But, well, Ward now here with a full count. First batter Saccone's faced. See if he shows up in the big time, drops it in. Foul tip. No foul tip? I could have sworn that hit metal.
He did foul tip, but he caught it.
Oh, yeah. Foul tip caught by Kelly. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Of course, anytime.
I had a lapse there.
That's all right. We all get it.
Foul tip caught by Kelly. Will Ward will go out. Now, John Sittler comes back up the shortstop.
I love his walk-up song by some 2000s guys.
Definitely forgot the name. Sittler motions for the bunt, however, does not actually take it.
Anthony Correa seemed to like it.
Anthony Correa loved it. Great producer over here. Also would like to shout out Mateo Volari on camera and James Giacomo on stats. Second pitch by Saccone. Wide for a ball. Good eye by Sittler.
And I'm a Boss is by Meek Mill, actually.
I'm a boss.
Yeah. I didn't forget.
Yeah, that's why it's pulled up on your Chromebook right now.
Actually, the stats are pulled up on my computer.
Sure.
Yeah, it is.
Saccone delivers. High, but it's pulled down by Kelly. Strike.
I mean, once again, you don't want to swing at anything you don't like. That could have been one if you wanted to swing at if you're Sittler. Well, we'll see if he does here.
The wind-up Sittler will check his swing. Ball is called a strike regardless.
That one a bit on the outside there, but I will give credit to the placement, the framing there. Gotta give credit where credit is due.
2-2 is the count. Sittler swings, hits it out to center field. Sells is running, drops his hat like every other time, and manages to make the catch. Sittler is out.
I love the effort made by Sells. Every time his hat seems to be falling off, but that you just gotta give credit to the.
I thought you told me Danny Matthews was pinch hitting for Jack Keenan.
Well, it looks like it is not going to be for Jack Keenan, or he was. Danny Matthews was warming up, so maybe Coach Muth made an executive decision to not have him hit, but he's still warming up. Danny Matthews still warming up, still doing his check swings and all that, and
Jack Keenan will call time as he comes back up to the plate, hitting 179 on the year. See what Saccone has for him. Ball will hit right off the glove of Kelly and bounce off the backstop. Ball. Bit of a little lackadaisical at bat. A lot of time between pitches right now, but Keenan readies himself again. chooses not to swing, ducks out of the way a little bit. Pitch is called high for a ball yet again. 2-0 count in favor of Keenan.
Great looks there by Jack Keenan. I mean, just want a bit high and on the inside. You don't want to get too greedy. I mean, you do have 2 outs here, but, try and want to get on.
Keenan swings, grounded right to third base. Not fielded cleanly, and Keenan will easily beat out the throw. Throw is tossed into the Prep fan area, bounces off the fence, and Keenan will close in on second, advancing a base on an error. Malloy had no chance of getting that throw at first.
Yeah, Keenan, he originally looked like he didn't want to run over to second, but then he saw, I think, how far the
Just
ball
fell flat on the fence,
right,
too. No bounce back.
Right, I think he saw that and realized, oh, let me get to second here, and did a great job, able to get that extra base on the infield single.
Very intelligent by Keenan. Will now take a solid lead off second. Saccone needs to try and find the way out of this inning. 2 outs in his favor.
Keenan anticipated a ball that was going to go behind into the backstop there, but stays at second. As the Prep, you've really seen a lot of leads so far. I mean, 8 total steals in this game, and it's been really come from those big leads that they've taken.
The second baseman, Tommy Murta. He'll take a chop at it and whiff.
Swung a bit early there, but he could have gotten it. That's rough. I think Murtha, he had to step out of the batter's box there. He knew it.
Yeah, Keenan's taking a solid secondary lead off of second. Maybe looking to take advantage of Roman's non-optimal fielding today. He will take that secondary lead, but Murta will pop it up into center. Sells falls under it yet again as Roman gets out of the inning without allowing any runs. Keenan is stranded on second, and it is time now for the Caholites to see if they can continue that momentum from last inning.
Sells with a really nice grab there, and he's done a really great job over the past couple of innings. Obviously, he didn't start off too hot, but over the past couple of innings, he's done a really, really great job when it comes to just making those plays out there. And the sun's obviously getting in their eyes. We can't tell based off where we are, but, great job by him. And now we'll see if the Prep can continue to just, get a clean shutout game. Well, not a shutout game, but a clean couple of innings here. And, not many hits in the last few innings, but the pitching has definitely been great in this one. And we've continuously seen the Prep play well when it comes to their pitching. Obviously only 2 runs given up here so far. And, you can talk about that as you will, but the pitching has been great, and in this game, the hitting came out early. It's obviously slowed down a little bit in the last couple of innings, but you've continuously seen runners get on, whether it comes to walks, base hits, or, the infield single by Jack Keenan and stuff like that. So, I think if you're the Prep right now, you're really happy with the way this game has gone so far, but remember the last time that, we were really happy with the way things were going? Yeah, that was in the other place we played in South Philly against New Magretti, and it all kind of, it just didn't go our way. But I think that is a reason for the viewers to stay tuned in here on WSJP, because anything can happen in the PCL. We saw it in football, basketball, and now baseball season. And obviously in the positive way, we saw St. Joe's Prep come back against Cardinal O'Hara down 7 runs, and Dylan Palantino, Johnny Sittler, they were able to bring the Prep back into this one. So don't tune out if you are, if you have any plans, cancel them. Stay tuned in here to WSJP.
Where else would they be able to watch Cole Kuhn pitch?
I know. I mean,
Kuhn allowed 2 runs previously in the 5th. We're going to hope that he can bounce back, and I certainly do believe in the man. 6'4", 185 up there on the mound. Fires it in there, popped by Daniels into right field. Can of corn for Pat Vezza.
And a great job there by Kuhn to start. I mean, the first few batters didn't really go your way. As you were able to let some runners on, but this is a great start, a good foundation that Kuhn has laid out for the rest of this inning.
Yeah. Freshman back up now, Jack Brown. Kuhn fires quickly, drops it in there for a strike.
There it is, Cole. I mean,
heating up.
Really great job. And we saw Eddie Dingle in the 3rd inning heat up, and it looks like it's for Kuhn. It's been a bit earlier for him.
Foul tip right here by Brown. We'll go down 0-2 in the count.
And that is what you want to see if you're Cole. You feel the anticipation from the St. Joe's Prep crowd that, they want to strike out here. They want to try and get 2 quick outs. As Cole's only thrown 3 pitches so far.
Cole gets yet another strike in, and he will strike out Jack Brown. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, 1 out.
Watch out, World. Cole Kuhn is heating up right now.
Watch out, World is crazy.
Well, watch out the rest of Roman Catholic's batters as Cole Kuhn is continuously heating up.
2 outs now for Jason Good. Whole swing, first pitch. Lined to Will Ward, and he will make the routine play to Jack Keenan. Sorry, grounded to Will Ward. But regardless, he will toss it across the diamond and get the out. Very quick, top of the 6.
That was
for your Hawks.
That was 6 pitches by Cole. Great job by him. Great job there by Cole Kuhn. I mean, now you can't really get much better than that. I think the viewers, they saw the first inning that he threw, and he was, obviously pretty decent, but gave up those 2 runs, and I don't know, I mean, based off the way the Prep is playing, it might have got your stomachs a bit nervous, but then he comes out here, and, anybody that doubted him definitely shut up for that inning because of the fact that he threw 6
just
pitches.
a raucous group of Cole Kuhn naysayers and doubters here.
Well, there possibly could have been.
At FDR Park.
You never know. Dom, there might be some naysayers for you and me right now say that we don't put on a good broadcast.
It's ridiculous, man.
Ridiculous. That's exactly what I'm sure what Cole Kuhn was saying there in the dugout. But he was able to come out there and pitch a 6-pitch inning that was able to shut down Roman and really, I'd say, shut down the momentum, any momentum that they did have coming from that previous inning. New pitcher also for Roman Catholic as well.
Let me take a peek at who that is. The lead-off, I was confused right there. The lead-off man for Roman, Jason Good, is now up there. He has a 2.62 ERA on the season. 2 appearances, no wins or losses credited.
Seems like he's part of their relieving staff here at Roman, and 2.62 ERA and 2 appearances, not bad at all. And we'll see what he can do here against St. Joe's Prep.
Good now warming up. I mean, Sullivan, what do you think is going to be crucial for these Hawks in order to really secure this needed Catholic League win?
Well, I mean, listen, I think if you're the prep audience, you might be a little disappointed, or even the Prep themselves, I would say, that, you might be a little disappointed that ever since that first inning, you've only put up 1 run. Or 2. 1 run, yeah,
one run.
One run. I thought I got that wrong, but nonetheless, you only put up 1 run. But it's been the defense and the pitching that has just been absolutely crucial in why the Prep has been able to continue to maintain this lead. Obviously gave up those 2 runs, but, it's the Catholic League. Sometimes things just aren't going to go your way. And that it's not, you're never going to throw a perfect game. You don't see it that much in high school baseball, but nonetheless, you just keep the pitching going. Obviously, Cole Kuhn has played really, really great out there on the mound. And ever since that 6-pitch inning, I think that you would want to continue to have him out there on the mound as you only have 1 inning remaining. So I would keep it going with Cole. I mean, you're up by 4 runs. If things don't start to go your way, then you possibly warm up somebody else. But just 1 inning remaining here in total, possibly in this game. So I would just keep doing what you're doing if you're the Prep. Obviously, you want to get some hitters here, but it seems like the Prep, starting to put in some pinch hitters, see what they got, and the guys that, we don't see as of much. Obviously, also see some dancing over there in the dugout. The guys are...
the vibes are high.
Yeah, the vibes are definitely high over there, but, I think if you're Coach Muth and the rest of the coaching staff, or Muth, I apologize, and the rest of the coaching staff, you want to tell these guys, stay locked in, and it's not over till it's over.
Yeah. It's not over till the fat lady sings, although I don't see any fat ladies ready to.
I don't know.
up to bat right now for the Hawks is number 14, Danny Matthews. Finally gets his chance at bat.
Yeah, we were talking about him earlier
Yeah.
in this one, and you know, he finally does get his opportunity to bat, Dom, and you love to see it. You love to see it.
Matthews has 9 plate appearances on the season, hitting .222 on the year. See how he approaches. Good. Good, beautiful motion, but a little blooper into left field. Drops for Matthews. He's going to round second with celerity. He's going to round first with celerity, but he is going to be tagged out at second.
No, he was safe. He just called time.
What? I have no idea how he did not apply that tag in time. But Danny Matthews manages to make it into second successfully, and he will provide the Hawks with great positioning as Emilio Iannacone comes on to lead off.
And a great hit there by Danny Matthews. I mean, he just hit it right in the spot that you don't want to see if you're Roman Catholic, and he just drops it in there.
Great blooper between third and left. Good delivers. Gorgeous placement on that ball. Drops it in for a strike to begin.
And a balk.
Balk called.
Oh,
Danny
man.
Matthews will
Dom.
stroll on over the third.
One that has gone our way, if I should say
I'm thankful.
so myself.
You know, they were bound to eventually.
I would sure hope so.
Iannacone will step back into the batter's box.
Iannacone 3 for 2 today. I'm sorry, 2 for 3 today.
Umpire Yeah, I was about to say, that's hard to do.
Yeah, that is something that has never been done in baseball
Umpire
history.
responds to Roman dugout, and then Iannacone steps back in.
The infield in for Roman as well. I would expect a big lead here when the pitch is thrown.
Iannacone calls time, wants to readjust. Yeah, infield shift right there, bringing him in, trying to avoid any sort of sacrifice bunt, or just to make it easier to make that play at home, if possible. Ball is in the dirt, but Matthews will choose to sit on it. Kelly went a ways away from home plate, but the initial bounce and the hesitation by Matthews made it unpursuable.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the nose there, Dom. I think the initial bounce, Matthews didn't really want to go because I think that he didn't think it was going to go too far, but I think it bounced off of the knee pad, I want to say.
Yeah, popped up a little bit.
Yeah.
No good there.
Right.
Iannacone.
Right.
1-1 hole, hit it over the head of Good and past Brown. Matthews will just jog home as it is a clean base hit grounder for Emilio Iannacone, your leadoff man.
Yeah, I think that just stinks if you're Roman. I mean, you know, you play the infield in, you were expecting you're expecting an out there. You're expecting Good to, you know, possibly make a play over at home and secure that ball, but you know, the infield was in. Obviously, you didn't really have much of an opportunity to, you know, get a look at that ball and try to make a play over at first, but, you know, what can you do?
Now up for the Hawks, Patrick Vezza. Iannacone will steal, and the ball is currently at the backstop. Easy steal.
George Van Deen.
Yeah, George Van Deen pinch runs.
And that is his 14th steal on the year.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Gathering plenty of them in today's game.
But yeah, 4 steals on
Van
the
Deen
game.
pinch running for Iannacone as his custom. Vezza trying to continue earlier success. Showing bunt. Van Deen takes a large lead, called safe. Bit closer than
very
you would want.
Close, very, very close there. I don't know if Van Deen will take a big lead, but actually knowing him and knowing the way he runs, I don't think that he will really care, but
yeah,
we will have to see.
When you have 14 stolen bases, you can kind of afford to.
Yeah.
See what Vezza does. Van Deen still being held on. Good, decides to fire. Ball, it bounces over Brown. Van Deen is going to round for home as Vezza gets the base hit, and throw is not going to be close. We'll just go to Malloy as the checkoff man. Van Deen scores yet again. as the Lehigh man, Robbie Grasso, comes up to the plate.
Yeah, and once again, that just stinks if you're Roman. I mean, the first hit, the one from Einekone, your infield was in. You didn't get an opportunity to get a jump on that one. And this one, it just kind of hits off the edge of the grass, and it bounces up, and we're not able to make a play on it. So just a lot of just unlucky plays you've seen in this inning, and Roman has just not been able to get out of it.
Have Robbie Grasso up here right now. He's been playing well this game, although you could say that for every Hawk.
Definitely 1 for 3 in this one.
Going to see what Good can try and cook up to hold on to any slim chances Roman Catholic has in this game.
No outs, though, remain in this inning.
Exactly, no outs. Down by 6. Bottom of the 6. It's looking bleak right now for Roman. Great frame job there by Kelly. Manages to secure the strike.
Dom, you stole my thunder there. That was great. I was going to say it was great framing there, and that's just something you need. You need something to build off of if you're Roman. You've had a lot of unlucky plays. They've gone against you. You gotta get something here.
That one is going to be low and outside ball for Grasso.
Once again, if you're the prep, you're not trying to take anything that's, anything that's too on the outside, anything too crazy. This is, I think if you're the prep, while you do want some more hits, I think you're really thinking about that last inning right now. You just want to, you might not just want to end this one.
And that will be an easy walk for Robbie Grasso. That one wide, low, and outside. Vezza will advance to second. Grasso takes first as the other Grasso, Chris, takes the plate.
Well, now Chris with an incredible opportunity here. A double in this game for him, and now he gets an opportunity to, maybe get his stats up just a bit more. Him and his brother Robbie with each with a few walks in this one, and 1 for 3 as well. And we'll see if Chris can, get the upper hand on his brother here. Possibly we get a base hit.
Grasso will check swing. Ball called, and he does not go around.
That was a great break on that ball there. Grasso
just broke a little too hard.
Right, Grasso just almost went around. I thought that was going to drop in there for a strike, but you hit it on the nose, Tom. It broke just a bit too hard, and unfortunately, it was called a ball for Roman Catholic. Unfortunately for Roman Catholic, it was called a ball.
High and outside for Chris Grasso. Yet another ball. 2-0 count, his advantage.
Chris not really wanting to swing at much. The prep could possibly get bases loaded here with no outs, and that is always the ideal situation for any team, no matter what level you're on.
Grasso will swing. Grounder down the third base line, but it'll go foul.
At first, I thought it was just going to be another unlucky play from Roman. I thought it was going to bounce off third base. It looked like it was going that way. Yeah. But fortunately for Roman, it was just you don't get another strand of that bad luck, and you're able to try and get back in this count here if you're Jason Good.
Good really battling for any hope Roman has left in this game. Chris Grasso fighting to take that hope away. Vezza on second, Robbie Grasso on first. Good delivers, tries to drop it in, but it doesn't break enough. High in a ball.
Yeah, once again, just another pitch that kind of looked like it was going to get in there. The first one broke too much. This one broke too little. And just unfortunate turn of events there for Good.
Good. Winding that arm up, taking his stance. Delivers here, and Grasso hits it into the third and short gap. Vezza and Robbie both advance 1 base. Bases loaded, 0 outs here as the Hawks continue to command the whole game. And the man who had a 2-run shot earlier this game, the third baseman, Will Ward, comes up to the plate.
Well, getting back to that single there from Chris Grasso, I mean, it was a nice hit, but a great job there from Roman to make sure that there was no runner that would score, that being Vezza on third. And he had a great job getting the ball in, and you just don't want to give up any more runs if you're Roman Catholic, obviously.
Attempted a frame job right there by Kelly. Cocks his head, trying to convince the umpire, but no dice. Initial serve to Will Ward is a ball.
And this is just the greatest situation you could be in if you're St. Joe's Prep. No runner, no man out, bases loaded.
Low to Ward. Kelly will stand up trying to hold the runners on, although if any runner were to move, a man would have to come home, that being Veza.
I don't think the Prep, they're really interested in taking any risk at the current moment in time.
I mean, bases loaded, 0 outs.
Well,
That'll do it.
I mean, you never know. Never know what could happen.
Meeting of the umpires and the meeting at the mound. Good will talk it over with his squad as the umpires speak. Ward just gets to speak in his own mind, kind of get in his own head. Not what you want as a hitter, but he's succeeded before today. No reason to believe he wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean,
Now.
three straight balls for Roman, or for Good on the mound, and you just, you don't want to walk another batter as it's already 8-2, bottom of the 6th, and you have a guy, Cole Kuhn, waiting to end this one. So you wanna try and give up as less runs as possible. Obviously, just based off the situation, you might give up more than what you're hoping for, but unfortunately, it kind of looks like that just might happen for Roman.
Yeah, I mean, Kuhn threw gas to end the top of the 6th. Sure, he would like to carry that momentum in and close the game out. But first, the Hawks have to get their due on offense. Pitch right there, drops down for a strike.
You know what I'm going to say, right?
Good framing.
The framing.
Was good framing.
I mean, you know it. You know the framing was really good there. Possibly could have been called a ball if there was no framing.
Infield shifted a little in. Veza and the Grasso's on. Robbie, in particular, taking a massive lead off second. And the balk is called. Good appears to be bewildered on the mound. Everyone will advance, and Patrick Veza will score.
And, oh man, I don't think anybody's happy about that
Yeah.
on Roman's side.
Good still has his
Complaints.
palms to the sky, a bit confused right there. Manager trying to plead his case to the umpire, although I doubt it'll change.
He does not really.
Did see
seem to
one
care.
reversed in that infamous Newman game.
He does not really seem to care that much. They're pleading their case.
Umpire waves him away as Kelly will sit back behind home plate, and Good will retake the mound.
Now time to play ball.
More words are exchanged between the umpire and the Roman skipper.
Well, it's good for Roman in that exchange, even though you really can't take away too many positives. I would say the one positive is that, you're able to, take a breath here and try to, drop something in there for a strike.
Sure. I suppose you do always have to try and find positives.
Well, you always got to try and find positive and the negative.
Agreed. Ward sits back in the batter's box. 3-1 count, foul tip, now full.
I know he wants that one back. That was right down the plate there, and he unfortunately just swung a bit early. You can kind of see on the expression on his face and the tap on his chest.
Trying to make sure he doesn't pull himself out of the game. I mean, up 7 now in the bottom of the 6th. I mean, it's reasonable to not have your head entirely in the game, but it's not the mentality you can have as a winner. Ward swings right in between second and first. He gets a routine base hit and knocks in both the Grassos.
Well, that's a great brotherly moment. You could see the Grassos coming in there to score, but Ward, I mean, just an incredible game, and I know that Coach Muth and the rest of the coaching staff are definitely going to be impressed of what he's put down in this game. A home run, 2-run RBI single. You can't, I mean, I don't know how much better you can really get than that.
Grasso gives Johnny Sittler a head tap, and Sittler will now come up to the plate. good, just trying to get out of this. Probably just go home at this point. Sittler straight to third base, and the error is made. He will reach first on the error, and Will Ward will advance.
Yeah, just the amount of unlucky plays that you've seen from Roman Catholic here today. And I mean, well, I don't know if you can say that was unlucky.
I mean, it hit him right in the glove.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if you can say that's unlucky, but just kind of the mental mistakes, the unlucky plays here in this inning have really been on full display. And, you know, still no outs in this inning, and now 2 runners on again for St. Joe's Prep, and it's just not looking good for Roman Catholic at all.
Good, delivers the first pitch for a strike.
You could say that was a good strike. I kind of just thought of that joke on the fly.
Really? Wow, dude, you're so creative.
I know, aren't I?
Jack Keenan back up to bat again as Ward and Sittler, the man's on.
Yeah, I
never
never was really a great artist, though.
Unfortunate.
You ever a great artist, Tom?
I went to the art center in Fairmount when I was younger. It was a great time. I made a lot of ceramics.
Really?
Taking ceramics next year, as a matter of fact.
That's great. That's great.
Keenan seeking to continue his strong hitting so far. Will hit one to the shortstop. Gets right under him as Will Ward will round his way home. And a bizarre infielding mistake leads to
Nobody's
Kelly
covering.
being in the Prep dugout, John Sittler being at third, and Jack Keenan being at second.
Yeah, Sell's now injured down on the field.
Yeah. Sells moved in from center field.
Yes.
Now playing at shortstop. Hurt himself trying to dive for that ball as a cavalcade of issues for Roman pops up on that round.
Now good old A-Rod gonna jog out there.
Yeah. Had my sophomore conversation with him. Great guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I was very confused when I got him, and then I'm like, oh, he was a very chill guy.
Oh yeah, very nice
But
guy. Our head trainer here at St. Joe's Prep helps out all the.
Hopefully Sells is okay.
He help, A-Rod helps out a lot of people. I remember in the freshman football days going down there to get my wrist taped, and he was doing a million things at once. I mean, just a really great guy. I think the game is over.
Game is over. Yeah.
Okay.
Players are lining up. The Hawks are going to win this game 12-2, 12 hits to 4, and 2 errors to 7 errors. High fives on the field as the Hawks get a much-needed PCL win, snapping their losing streak. And Ryan, I think the story of this game has to be the phenomenal pitching of Eddie Dingle to start.
I mean, you just gotta give him so much credit. He came in there, and the slider was just absolutely incredible. And then you saw Cole Kuhn come in for the final few innings, and started out a bit shaky, but then in a 6-pitch inning. I mean, where can you really get any better than that if you are Cole Kuhn? And then the hitting was absolutely great. 12 hits on the day for St. Joe's Prep. It was just great, and everything went well for the Prep here today. And just a great way to end this day here.
Yeah. The sophomore man, Eddie Dingle, gets the win in an incredible pitching performance. Cole Kuhn comes in relief, and just about every batter on the Hawks managed to hit, especially Will Ward, who knocked in 4 RBIs on the day. Thank you to everyone who tuned in to WSJP today. I've been Dominic Schalk here on Play-by-Play, and he has been Ryan Sullivan here on Color.
Thank you.
We'd like to thank you all for watching. We'd like to thank Anthony Correa for producing, Mateo Valari for his cam work, and James DiGiacomo for stats.
And Coach Stins for taking us here.
Absolutely. Shout out Coach Stins.
Oh, yeah.